Yo, yo, yo. Sorry, I did look at something real quick. I'm here, though. Trying to fix my mic. I think we're good. My dog's trying to sleep on my foot right now. I'm here, though. Honestly, I'm kind of glad I slept in a little bit. I slept in, and then I chilled, hung out with my dog. Honestly, I played a lot with my dog. And then, yeah, now we're here. What's up, Alice? How you doing, dude? And yeah, I'm just not getting here. Honestly, I'm kind of glad I did too. On the back end of that kind of excuse, I guess I'm saying it is also just because of the news later in the day. I don't see the point. We did make some pretty decent moves in the price action, though. I saw we were under today's open and moved down to the previous day low, which is always pretty cool, but not that crazy of a move so far. Now we're seeing consolidation and possible retake of 659.11, possibly even the previous day low. So I'd keep an eye on these two little levels combined for short-term direction from right here, right now, but we do have news later in the day, so be careful. You're good just hanging out, no trades because of news later? Yeah, I'm kind of chilling too, to be honest, but I wanted to still stream and see what everyone was up to. I don't expect to get like a bunch of people in here today, but thought I'd still just come hang out for anybody who is going to be around. It's already 11 too, so we're starting the stream pretty late. Yeah, pretty big news. I'll go ahead and show off the whatever stuff I posted from levels already, which you could see spy on my screen already. Letting you guys know I started my stream soon. Here's the chart. And then I copy-pasted this from Financial Juice, as always. Sometimes I just post a screenshot, but the screenshot was going to be really small, and you was almost going to be, like, not really able to read, you know? But the long-awaited Federal Reserve decision will be released soon. The traders expecting officials to cut interest rates for the first time this year and reveal the scope of reductions over the coming months. So it's not really the cut I think a lot of us are looking forward to. I mean, it's happening. It's pretty much inevitable. It's like 96% that a 0.25 is happening. I think it's like 4, 5, 6%. It might even be lower than that now. That a half point is cut. But I think the thing that is really big and what might be what causes bigger movement in a single direction after that initial news is released, because I truly believe that the rate has already been, or the cut of the rate, sorry, has already been priced in. So that would mean we're probably going to pull back once the cut news comes out. But what could send this chart in any direction, and this is why I want everyone to be careful with, is anything else that is on top of that. If they come out and they're like, yeah, we're cutting this, well, no shit, we kind of already expect that. And then they say, oh, but it's not looking too good ahead. It might be a while till we cut again. That's going to be a huge problem. You're going to see most likely a pullback, and then we'll see a good market move back up to price in the next cut, but that'll be way later, right? So in that scenario, things slow down significantly. And the scenario where they cut, which, again, every scenario starts with them cutting, and then they say, oh, things are actually looking really good. We're going to be able to cut bigger and quicker soon. Okay, that's awesome. You're going to probably see even more rapid price action. I would assume pretty much just straight up. If they come out and they seem super optimistic about how quick the next cut can come through and how large it may be, then I think that is what's truly going to send this market in a single direction, not the initial news of the cut. I really do believe the initial cut has already been priced in. And I can kind of back this up with VIX. I don't like to use VIX to back up anything, but anybody that's been paying attention to this will understand. We've been holding these lows, and now we're bouncing up. So the fear is already kind of picking up again, and it looks like it could head even higher with this news coming out. It's positioned to where it could even move back up again. So volatility is about to be even higher than it already is right now. Most likely. I'm not going to say that's 100%. But that's my take on the news for the day, on my news on the market and what it may do to the market. I don't really like to sit here and talk about what I think should or shouldn't happen. I mean, we can have those theoretical conversations, but that's all just bullshit at the end of the day. But that's truly my opinion. That's what I see coming today. So let me know what you guys think. And, yeah, if you have any agreements or disagreements, feel free to throw them out. We could look at plenty of other charts. SPY is almost always our main focus, but I was pretty interested in like IWM because they kind of dipped down out of this double inside bar. Now they're a triple inside bar, and this day finally poked its head out, but it already is back down. So IWM is a big watch for me. Where's the other one? Where are you at, Coin? There you are. Coin's kind of a big one for me because they had an inside bar also fail. They had one right here. It opened higher, broke back down instantly, and now we kind of have this red day popping up. So wanting to see if the news impact has anything to do with this, but if the news comes out and it's not too great, Coin could be a good setup for some downside action towards like 309. So doesn't need to be like news related trades all the time. Ignore that chart. Ignore this chart too. Yeah, the crypto charts are a little wild right now. Some of them look like they're holding. Some of them look like they're about to make the biggest drop down of their life. Inside bar on Sophie. We're like in this towards the all-time highs before. Where's AMD at today? I didn't even get to check her yet. If you guys are in Lifetime, make sure to go check that post. I really like that post by Username on AMD. He did larger time frame. Of course, I like to focus on the smaller time frames. And let me put this back here. And then also to finish this off, just so we get it done, this shows also the weak and strong sectors. This is from briefing.com. But what I really like about it is it talks, sometimes it'll show up other things right here. But major averages ahead of FOMC decision with the broader market advancing with weakness in several megacap. Like, we already know that. NVIDIA trades lower following a report that China has ordered its companies to stop purchasing NVIDIA chips. We talked about this yesterday and the impact it can have. So, yeah. And yeah, if you guys are in here, be sure to share the stream link around and drop a like on the stream. I know most people are probably just going to try to chill today. I honestly don't blame them. But yeah, I did highlight in the stream marker thing my breakdown. I would love to be able to cut that up, save it, and then see what the aftermath is of the news today. And honestly, not just from today. I hate just looking at today's results. I would like to see honestly like from a week or two from now, and then we can look back on that clip and be like, okay, that did make sense, and then we can use that logic moving forward because it isn't really that crazy of a logic. My theory. And yeah, if you just missed it, we just went through SPY and we kind of just talked about the market news and what impact we think it will have, and honestly what we find important outside of just the interest rate cutting news is really what I highlighted. Welcome to the stream, guys. If you guys have any updates or charts you want me to look at, just let me know. I'll pull it up. Kind of just skimming through charts right now, just because we have news on the horizon. You played something? Let me look. I was saying earlier, if anybody in my chat did trade today, I would hope that it's like the break of today's open towards like previous day low. That's pretty much the only major trade I saw. And then I saw a nice curl up here, but no like, you know, launch really. And kind of doing the same thing here, except it feels like it's bearish more than bullish compared to when it was here. But you said played that CDO to PDL scalp this AM. Didn't even take it to PDL. Just new low of day because of the day in one con. Yeah, the day is a little volatile. Did you see a change in those contract prices? I honestly didn't even look at the chain yet. They're a little bit more pricier, a little bit more volatile. Where the spread's a little bit more open when they were actively moving. Other than that, chilling. Good to hear that, man, honestly. And good trade, seriously. I'm really happy to hear that. Because from my point of view, someone who didn't even look at the chart till starting my stream, looking at this chart, I was like, man, I have not seen a single bullish setup on this chart. I could like maybe see the kind of argument for here, but it'd really be reaching just because this is kind of all one move here. I know there's a couple dips in between, but it really is just like one move, and we literally just got done talking about the wait for the second thing yesterday, so that was a really big recent conversation, so I'd be a little bit depressed if I saw that. But yeah, no. The only main one I saw that really made sense to me, and I really hope it wasn't like within the first 15 minutes, because when I saw this, I was like, oh god. Like, it still worked out, but that would have really scared some people. And you would have had to wait for the full candle close, which is like, I don't know. It's like you're in a horror movie, and the guy that's about to kill you is right outside the door, and you can't make a single noise. You got to bite your finger, you got to bite your hand or something. Like, shut up, shut up, shut up. That's what it probably felt like if you had to hold through those candles there. Good breakdown here, though. I mean, it was very directional. This candle, too, I really hope this didn't like, scare anybody on the 5-minute, because this is a nice, just basic 50-50, but I'm on a drop candle, so it's really not 50-50. It's a little bit more bearish. It would be a bearish continuation candle, if anything. Now, in the moment, you don't know that, but it's nice to know that, because you do have bearish trend, and then this candle pops up. It should be thought of as a sandwich more than anything. And then I think once you see this candle, and also kind of reminding yourself, wait, this candle wasn't that big either, I would start thinking, okay, this is probably getting a little bit oversold just between these three candles. So, and that's almost low of day. So, I mean, using that little trick of ours, you definitely could have helped yourself out. And also, it's hilarious to me how we just got done talking about that, but we were like, we always see these candles at the top and bottom of trends. I've been saying this for years. And if you literally look at the bottom and top of this chart, it's literally those legs. Like, you got to pay attention to the candlesticks. They are literally trying to tell you who has a little bit more control than the other side. I see this candle, I'm thinking slightly bearish, right? I see, let's find a not bearish, like this one. I see this candle, I'm thinking sandwich candle. It's a part of whatever the trend that I'm already looking at. It doesn't change anything. It wastes time, that's what it does. Waste 5 minutes of our freaking time. But it's there. It's a sandwich candle. This candle here, it's honestly a candle that looks like it could hold the chart and reverse this thing back up, but then this candle pops up after, so that kind of destroys the whole purpose of that candle even trying to hold. So you see how it's like a story being told, candle to candle? And then you apply that around your levels, and then you apply your PEMDAS, you know, our theoretical thinking, where you do your things in order of operations. You add all that together, and you have a pretty clean story in front of you. Sometimes. It's not always going to be clean, and if it isn't clean, then probably shouldn't be trading it. It's a natural signal. It's like when another horror movie reference. When you're in a scary movie and a freaking dog is, like, barking, are you going to ignore the dog? No, I'm going to listen to that dog. There's probably a killer on the other side or something, you know? Like, why do the people always ignore the dogs in those movies? It pisses me off. I know they're movies, but damn. Oh, yeah, the way more pricey, so wanted to be safe and keep things in the right direction. Good shit. We were rejecting CDO. I didn't even look at PDCP. Where is that at? If that's that level, I'm going to laugh. Okay, it's not. Oh, yeah, we were under that the whole time. That adds to it, too. I didn't even do that myself. I honestly thought just this level alone, struggling, and then the break of open was good enough. But yeah, you're right. That kind of adds to it. Oh my god, I thought somebody just gifted more subs again, like Alexis and Sandal. I was like, you guys are wild. 29 mother effing months. That's how long I've been stuck with you on YouTube. That's crazy. No, what's up, Leland? Good to see you, dude. Sup, Pussy? Typed it the correct way and everything. The 2 day ago PDCP, I didn't even look at that either. I'm assuming it's pretty close to that, though. Dude, good shit, Carter. That's honestly really clean. That might be the trade of the day before news. Ready to see UPST pop a bone? Let's see. Oh, God. I don't know what any of these levels are, so I don't even know if I should be extending this. Let's just delete this, because I don't even know what the hell any of these areas are. Ooh. 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 I was just about to say, never mind. Don't delete those areas. That's kind of disgusting. I don't know. Without the levels, it looks nicer. I won't lie. Because it's like, oh, it could be rejecting there, but then you zoom out and you're like, oh, wait, never mind. It's probably a higher low. We'll see. Not a bad open to this week, too. You just isolate that. Very good open. It doesn't look like shit because we're on the weekly, but it's actually really good. Oh, in the monthly, even cleaner. Honestly, the monthly is probably the cleanest looking chart. Ooh, I kind of like that. Oh, wait, this probably should be like called out in chat, shouldn't it? If interest rates get cut, this is going to go up. I only remember this because that's literally what happened last time Leland called this out. He was like, yeah, this should go up. And then interest rates chilled out, and then they started popping like crazy. That was the first time when they said they weren't going to keep raising them. But now we're at a point in history where they're going to start cutting them, which should cause this to go up. I wonder how much it'll go up from a cut, because it did pretty good just from them saying it's not going to go up anymore. I think that was around here, if I'm right. And then this year's just been consolidation, honestly, because they're waiting for literally anything to happen. Summer 2024 they're cutting? Okay, yeah. So around that bounce then. Yeah, that makes sense chart-wise. Okay, well, yeah. So theoretically, this should go up with the market. I don't really know what to mark. Let's just mark this because there's a lot of shit sitting there. So 109. I mean, that's not a bad initial target. And then the high of whatever the hell this is. About 100. Maybe mark the top of that. Not that one. That one. And then maybe I should add something to the bottom. Just historical stuff. Yeah, that's not looking too shabby. Alright, well, I'm going to post the monthly because it just looks way sexier. If that's cool with you, Leland, kind of piggybacking your chart. But I only remember this because of Leland. So it's honestly out of respect. And yes, I'm screenshotting negative 20. No, that's really smart. I really only remember that because of you. You were like praising this stock. And it's kind of rare you see Leland like glaze just some random ticker. Like, I never see him do that. But I will always remember UPST as the Leland chart. And then it was also cool figuring out how literally connected it is to the interest rate. I'm just going to post this in levels because I don't know where else to post it. I should stop typing it. Price. I type like I'm like mysterious. Y'all, if you read this post, y'all are gonna laugh at me, honestly. Alright, interesting ticker to watch. Let's go. Alright, I'm posting it in the levels channel, so you guys should go check that out. Well, I mean, you guys don't have to. You're in here. But yeah, this did really well first time around, and that was just from interest rates stop going up. Imagine how well it's gonna do with interest rates getting cut. Sorry, I was reading something. Brain fart. All right, very cool. Thank you, Leland. And honestly, thank you for the reminder, if anything. Yeah, dude, we literally, Leland, I shit you not, I literally just pulled that video up on stream for the first time in forever yesterday. We literally rewatched that video because I even have the note right here. I was like, we need to make a part 2 video. So I got Jack Ma versus Elon. I got a couple Bill Gates clips. I need to get a couple more ideas from the chat because I can't find any good ones. But yeah, but I shit you not, we literally just watched that clip yesterday because somebody said UPST. I brought it up the chart. I even talked about your story again yesterday. And then we watched that clip. That is hilarious that you typed that. What do they even do? I'm sorry, what was that? What does Upstart even do? Yeah, I can't. I'm cutting out. I can't hear you. It's connection. It was fine literally 2 seconds ago. No, that clip is so fucking good. Looking for shares of that, right? Yes, shares. If you're looking for shares of something, I think I would go for that. You could try to gamble some options. I'm not going to, stop anybody, but that wasn't my intention behind that post, no. It was also just to highlight information because I genuinely thought it was super cool how well that was connected. And it is like a really slow kind of thing. Like you're not going to expect it to go up like to 100, within a day. That's not something we're expecting. It might take a month. It might take 2 months. It might take the whole quarter. Who fucking knows? But I think it's a very good bet for anybody betting equity, especially with this interest rate news and how much impact it has right now across really just our economy. So I think that's a very impactful ticker to look at. Stub just went live. Oh, my God. I'm going to freaking lose it. Let's go. All right, everybody. We're rooting for Stub to go up. Because Dr. J got 100 shares. They totally let him get that many. You got 11 this time. Damn. We went from not even being able to get more than 1 to 11? Fucking flex. Watch, Dr. J. I'm not trying to jinx you, but watch. This is the one play that doesn't work. I think it will, though. It's StubHub. This is a pretty famous... Even idiots that don't even know what this is know what this is. That was a weird way to put that, but yeah. Yo, good looks, good looks, good looks. I can't get rid of Clar, so we need to add something else. We'll add that. Oh, God. Fuck it. It's kind of funny looking at it like that. New low of day on SPY, by the way. I'm really not seeing anything here that says bulls are trying to hold yet. I mean, honestly, this is a good attempt. I like this curl, and I like this break and retake, but it has been breaking and retaking the whole time, so it's not really a liquidity grab. It's just a lot of junk. So, I think this is the level that they will probably launch from if they do recover, but they're in a downtrend all the way into news right now, so I would just chill on SPY. Price action-wise, they're pretty clean for the downside so far into now. I think I'd like to see a more esteemed candle hold as well. Like, they did pretty good with this and this and this, but it didn't get anywhere. And I think they really need something like that over here. Like a really, really solid hammer and then like a higher low of that hammer. I need to see something like that. I'm not really getting that here. Let's go StubHub. Let's go StubHub. Launch to 200. At least it's up. Yeah, that's true. So, of course, this one is only... Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say, too. Like, of course, this one's only up a little. They let you get more than one, and they stop your hype there. That's crazy. Anytime you want me to close that quick chart, Dr. J, you let me know. I honestly was wanting to leave it up just for the hype. At least it's up. Yeah, true. Can't complain. Welcome to the stream, guys. Drop a like if you haven't already. Share the stream link around. You can go back to the beginning of the stream where I had a breakdown of what the market news is for the day, as well as what that could impact on the market and how. I didn't just talk about the basic vanilla shit that everyone's probably saying today. interest rate this, interest rate that. I also went over what impact it'll have beyond that interest rate cut. There's going to be more news beyond. It's not just, hey guys, we're cutting today. There's also talking about the forward guidance beyond that. So that's what's going to really be what probably sends our market up and down today. And maybe even the rest of the week, rest of the month, who knows. But yeah, so definitely peep that. Where my GoPro fans at? Are they up today? Oh, they are up. Lag is nuking a burrito. Oops, I did not mean to do that. Alright, here we go. Damn, man. What happened with GoPro? I thought they were doing pretty good. Maybe I'm like having nostalgic memories or something, but I could have swore this company was not doing that bad. They had like all the hype videos going well for them, like on YouTube, and all the promotion videos for the different companies. I guess nobody cares. I mean, I don't own a GoPro, but they are cool. And you see them in like every Red Bull video of someone doing some crazy ass stunt that could end their life. Like, it's always a GoPro. That's crazy though. Huge bounce from 40 cents. Look at that tiny ass candle down there. What a wild chart that is. And then there's Bull just getting absolutely abused. Kind of looks like the SPY 5-minute right there. TTD getting absolutely destroyed. TSM's honestly killing it. Intel too. They're another chart that's like they're holding on for dear life above this area, which we've had highlighted the whole time. I really like that it did this move too. It didn't just launch instantly, because it really does give this chart a chance of, you know, making up to the next area. A lot of consolidation there above that area though, so if it pulls back too, might be bad. Very, very bad. Oracle just consolidating ever since it gapped up there. Poor Avgo. I don't know. That first move was pretty good. But yeah, it really didn't do much with it, did it? That's a pretty impressive candle too after like a day like this. That's pretty impressive. But yeah, now it's like... It's almost like there's people still holding this, and they were like, well, y'all are dumb. Like Rob, he took profits. You know, he was smart. He saw it gapped up that much. He's like, you know what? This is a good spot. Anybody who kept holding, honestly, is getting screwed now. But yeah, poor Avgo indeed. See what happens with them too, because they look like they're going to keep pulling back. 330s maybe. And then there's Caterpillar, not giving a single F. Tem, I forgot who said this yesterday, but this is honestly not a bad ticker right now. I think I just like that it's up and it has all those candles trading inside one. Whoops, I meant to click on Chewy. Shout out to Chewy, dude. Chewy's been bouncing. Well, I say been bouncing. It's been 2 days. I like the momentum on this, though. Especially because it's off that low. If this would have just been in the middle of nowhere, I'd be like, eh. This is a dead cat bounce. But I like Chewy. Mad late, what's Gucci? You're not mad late. It's only been 30 minutes. I started to stream late, to be fair. I mean, I kind of said something about it in the stream yesterday. I mean, I didn't give like a fair warning, but it's like, I don't know. I just thought I'd stream a little bit closer to the actual news coming out. Which does happen in about 2 hours. Or wait, no, an hour and a half. And then the conference with Powell is an hour and a half. Or 30 minutes after that, sorry. I was correct. And I actually typed the time in EST for once. I know that I'm in CST, but yeah, the world only cares about EST, let's be honest. Hard truth. Yo, what's up, Kevo? When does Renegon Kevo unleash? When does Mangekyo turn into Renegon? That's what I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see that level up. Stub was a dud all out. I don't blame you. Of course, the one dude, it literally did exactly what you and me were thinking. Like, of course, they finally let you get more than one share, and it doesn't go up, you know, a decent percent on its first day. It might be because of the day it's on. Maybe that could have been a thing, but I honestly thought you were in a good spot because of it being StubHub. You know, if it was some random company no one's ever heard of, whatever. But StubHub, come on. I guess there was no hype. No liquidity? No liquidity. Triple Q looks like crap. What the hell? Oh. So if it does pull back, that's probably the zone or area it's going to go towards. Just keeping that in mind in case we do pull back from the news. That is not a good looking candle. It is only Wednesday, though. I don't like to judge too much on the weekly yet. But those three candles are not a great sign. This price action's boo. What's up, Lag? I'm just happy to see you here, dude. I saw you on the Game of Games last night. Well, probably less demand, which is why I could get 11 and why it didn't exploit. Yeah. Still, though, I was a little hyped. I got kind of hyped when I saw you got a double-digit number of shares from that. I was like, all right, all right. They're letting my boy play. Leland is here? Yeah, Leland is here. We just got done, or not just got done, it was a few moments ago. We got done talking about UPST just because it is so heavily involved with the interest rate. So anybody wants to pick up shares of UPST for a potential long-term play on the interest rates being cut and potentially being cut even further down the road, you could be getting in on a pretty good risk-reward play. UPST. Shout out Leland for that info, too. The great Leland is in the house, dude, I'm telling you. Running around trying to get everything done before Pow Pow. Pow Pow. LOL still made 7.5%, which is respectable. $20. Going to reinvest that into same-day Pow Pow. It gave me more fuel. All right, I'm going to leave it on SPY for a little bit, and then we'll chill, and I'll just reply. I kind of just been spamming through charts, but I don't know. It's kind of fun to look through the whole list first, and then just chill. Then we can have something to reference. And if you guys have been paying attention to the swing plays, I'm very happy for you. We just got to keep being patient, picking our plays where we see fit. I do still... Someone, please God, remind me that I need to go back into whatever stream it was to cut the video out for the scanner. I literally had ChatGPT make me a scanner. And then I had to edit a couple things on the scanner itself on Thinkorswim, but it was nothing hard. And then it gave us some pretty awesome swing results. I just have to actually individually go through them with the charts and see which one's the best. But almost every time I've clicked on them, and even those weird names, like, you know how we traded APA and SoundHound, like, those are weird tickers and really, really weird. But the chains were liquid. They had plenty of people trading it. All we needed was movement. So that's the kind of charts we're looking for, and that's the kind of things that scanner picks out. It doesn't give me wasteland crap. Fire that assistant? Dude, seriously. I don't know where that assistant is, but he or she needs to be fired. And I'm not talking HR letting them down slow. Someone needs to aggressively fire that person. I'm back. Did we look at Intel at all? We did actually. Oust, we did. We did look at Intel, but I'll look at it again with you. Just because I like it so much. I mainly just re-highlighted. I'll delete all the junk levels. These are just like short-term control levels, nothing serious. But this area is what I was re-highlighting again. And I was just pointing out I kind of like that it came down again. It didn't just launch from that first time. It may provide the energy for this chart to move up. Now, of course, the news today could impact that. But I do like Intel still holding this. And I will not be surprised even after whatever news comes out that this still goes up. It does have the build. 2 inside bar. Oh, yeah, it is. I didn't even realize that. It's even weirder because both of the... Holy, that's a weird one. Both of these candles are... What the hell? Both of these candles are stuck inside this one, but then this one's inside this one. It's like a true double inside bar. Basically what we're saying is it's squeezing its ass off after gapping up a little bit from support. So, like I said, I think it does have the energy built up to make it towards higher levels. Now, will that actually happen? We'll have to see, but it is definitely built for it. I really like these higher lows, too. I like the candles that are appearing here. Very nice leg. Inside bar breakup. Consolidation after. Another little higher low from that, not just kind of going off on its own adventure. So, it definitely looks good. Intel is probably one of the best-looking daily charts right now. If I had to throw a second-place chart on that, I would probably say... well, UPST, but that's like default. What is close to Intel? Because Intel is definitely the best looking chart on the daily. There isn't really a close second, I'll be honest. After everything we just went through, there really isn't a close second to that one. Yeah, Intel and UPST, those are probably the best two right now. Orange, you glad we got out of Soundhound? I need to keep reminding myself to check that other one, too. I forget this name. That was a really weird trade. I'm really glad we're not in that still. It did exactly what we needed and said, all right, get out. I am a little concerned about the SPY and Triple Q dailies. I don't know if y'all been paying attention to that, but they are identical with that 3-candle setup, looking like it has room to go down to whatever recent support there is. Like, it looks like it wants to go down to 650, 687, and then whatever the 50% of this candle is. Just based on right here, right now. I'm not saying it is going to do that. I'm just saying, based on the candlesticks presented in front of us, that looks like what it wants to do. The humble AMD. Oh, that's true, too. The humble AMD is pretty top tier. And there's no bias when I say that. Biased. What is that? Yeah, I like AMD as well. We did good on that lotto play. I'm kind of just chilling ever since that one to get my second dip on this trade. But we're waiting. We're like a tiger in the tall brush. We're just waiting. But yeah, we traded it from here to that gap up. I was very happy about that. And ever since then, it just kind of came down, settled, went back up. And we used the whole thing that Leland taught us, too. All I did was mark the gap up, and it held the 50% with a candlestick pattern. It's kind of a morning star, but not the most perfect morning star. I just like the wick up. In your opinion, would be an invalidation of 2350s. Where did you go, Intel? Here you are. Yeah, 2350s, 2360s. This highlighted area is what I'm looking at, just to rephrase it, for short-term control. So I would like to assume that as long as it's above this, higher probability that it's going to keep bouncing. But if it breaks this, a very good chance it wants to break back down, which I haven't even drawn levels for that, but they're pretty obvious. I would say the 50% of this candle, wherever that is, I'm assuming it's pretty close to that low. I definitely need to go back and draw this fib. And that gives us two pretty good drawdown levels. Let me actually draw the 50%. Let's see how close it was. Oh, see? I knew it wasn't the bottom. I knew it was a little bit higher. It just didn't look right. But yeah, so these could be two good drawdown levels. I'd say this one specifically, and then if it does really get that bad, this is probably where it wants to go. But yeah, I would definitely say 2350, 2360s. If that breaks, higher probability picks up, it wants to pull back a little bit. And then if you see 23 break, then uh-oh. But right now, it's doing a pretty good job of holding it. I haven't even looked at the weekly or monthly either on these, but I'm sure they're all right. Yeah, the weekly looks all right. I love the amount of insane consolidation there is. People say boring. I say this leads to opportunity. Without consolidation, you can't make these big-ass moves. Unless you're like a company that's inventing like the coolest shit ever that everyone's looking at without you having to do any advertising. Like that's a completely different thing though. It's Intel. It's not that fucking, you know, it's not that exciting. Whoever made my burrito, bless your soul, because it's the size of my foot. Jesus. Well, I'm happy to hear you got a good burrito. He said, "Come on, lag. There is a good pick place." He's not lying. There is a food channel. We are running 5 miles today for sure. I doubt that. That insane amount of consolidation. Sorry, I was like, what? Is what's really making me want to go heavy on shares. Yeah, I would definitely say that's more of like an equity play, like you're saying, like shares. Same for UPST. Those are both good equity plays. Autocorrect. 5 miles isn't even a crazy distance. No, that's not what I meant. I meant that I don't believe you're going to actually go run 5 miles. This is your first time seeing UPST? Yeah, check the levels channel just for a little bit of reference info from what me and Leland were saying earlier. But yeah, it's a nice chart on the weekly and monthly specifically. Challenge accepted. Fuck, I actually believe Lag would do it now. Lag's one of those crazy guys. He just thinks jogging is fun, then jogs an insane amount of miles. Where's the food picks channel? Oh, here it is. I haven't really been looking in here. Oh my god. I know I'm a little late, but that pick Ryaku said is pretty clean. That's a full plate. You jog and lift so you can eat without feeling guilty? Oh, okay. Fair enough. I mean, you shouldn't feel guilty. You only live once, man. At least that's what I was told. Fuck it. Eat what you want. By the way, the Bears have definitely done a good job here before the news coming out. They're still pulling back. Single directional, too. Last couple candles. My dog is knocked out right under my leg right now. I'm picking up Al Pastor tacos after private swim lessons today. Damn, subtle flex. Mixed in tacos with private swim lessons, like, shit. Flex. I forgot to ask you this the other day. Are you the one getting lessons or giving lessons? I had to ask that again because I think I asked you that before and I was like, I just forgot because I'm stupid. But are you the one giving the lessons or getting the lessons? Giving the lessons. Okay, see, that's what I thought. I could have swore I had heard something about that before, and I was like, wait a minute. Private swim lessons, dude. He probably could go join, like, the Navy SEALs. You should try swimming in a cold plunge. It's horrible. Ugh. I did something similar to that when I was younger. We went to Puerto Rico. We were up in the mountains. You had to hike to get up there, and you're like really hot, like you're like really sweaty, and like oh, like I can't wait to cool down. Like once you get to the top, and there's this like water that like comes down from the cliffs, and then it goes down even further. And there is a possibility of dying if you slip off the wrong way, but most of it was safe. You get in there, and I'm not joking you. Like this wasn't a cold plunge. This was like an Antarctica plunge or something. Like I jumped in there. That was stupid too. I should not have jumped in there. And it literally felt like a million knives. Like the tip of them were like touching my skin all around my body. That was crazy feeling. I did feel good though. But yeah, that was probably the coldest water I've jumped into like that. I have no idea the temperature, but it was very, very cold. Couldn't imagine the horror during Titanic. Honestly, I feel like most people, yeah, probably were like, "Fuck, this water's cold." But there were some people in that water that probably didn't even notice because their adrenaline is rushing, and part of them's like, "I'm about to die." Also, can we talk about Jack having room on that freaking? What was it, a door or something they fucking were holding on to before they drowned? There was plenty of room up there. That's all I'm saying. Prove me wrong. Lag, I also like how you went from cold plunge to just instantly like, dude, I wondered like how that felt during the Titanic. In high school, we had the pool heaters turned off for the Hell Week. Oh my god. They do Hell Week at every school? Was this at L Yunk, the national? I have no idea. I could try to take a look, but I was all over Puerto Rico the one time I went because I went with my family and we kind of just hung out, and then there was a family there that we were already friends with from here. Because they're from Puerto Rico, so we had like natives too that were like taking us everywhere and like showing us all the cool shit. So I got to kind of see like the nice part of Puerto Rico, and then we went to like the ghetto. And it was honestly still a vibe. I'm not even trying to say it was like the ghetto, but that is what it was in comparison to the other side. But it was so fucking awesome. Every part of Puerto Rico was fun. And honestly, I don't think it would have been that fun if we didn't go with a family that was like literally from there, you know? Because they kind of made it super easy. We just like went wherever the hell we wanted. Go hang out at their family's place. It was super cool. There was this one lady, and I think I've said this once before, and I will never forget this till the day I die. But how many, and I want to ask you guys this before I tell the story, but when you go to a restaurant and you're getting your orders taken, have you ever seen someone do the thing where they don't write anything down? And if so, if you have seen this, what was the number of people you had with you? I would love to challenge that number. Because I swear I found a sorcerer in Puerto Rico. Like 3? Door had room, but was it buoyant enough? Oh, come on. Don't defend her. We're supposed to be Jack supporters in here. I'm just kidding. Like 3? That's the only answer I'm getting. Like 3. I shit you not. This lady we went to, Party of 4. Okay, that's all right. Like, see, like 3, 4. These are normal numbers, right? Like, I think some of us could do that. Maybe even the best of waiters could do that. 3, 4, 5. I shit you not. There was a table we had in like the back room. It was like a private party room, and it was like their family, my family, and then their bigger part of their family, like their extended family, right? So we had like, if I had to throw a number out there, I would say we had like 20 to 21 people. I would say it's between there, because you got the kids, you got the adults, all that shit. It was probably like 20 to 21 people. Maybe even 22, somewhere around there, right? So let's just say 20, right? That's a lot of people. This lady comes through, and we thought she was like trolling us, right? We thought she was messing with us, joking with us. She literally did not write a single thing down for our drinks, and we were like, okay, that's whatever. That's just our drinks, Maybe that was just really easy because it's just the drinks. It could only be so many options. She did it with our food, and there were so many little things that people edited on their food, and she remembered it. And I swear to you, on anything that is good in this world, she came back with that food, and there wasn't a single thing wrong with anything. And I was amazed. I was like, bruh. I think they ended up giving her like the fattest tip I've ever seen, but it was impressive to say the least. And I remember that. I was like a lot younger, and I remember that very well, because I was just so amazed by like how the fuck she memorized all that. Like, and each seat too. She didn't write a single thing down. She'd just stare at you, smile, be polite, like, all that good shit, ask you about this, about that. Remembered everything. I'm like, I was amazed. No help either. Not yet, Tobias. You're good. Party of 6 didn't write down orders. See, 6 is kind of impressive too. But 20 fucking people? Like, that actually blew my brain. To this day, my brain is still blown about that. Tobias, this isn't your first rodeo. To be fair, he is in the Netherlands and from the Netherlands. I mean, he's literally from a different part of the world. We can cut Tobias a little slack. By this time, he's trying to eat his dinner and get to bed. Actually, that might not be true. I don't know what time it is right there. It's almost noon for me, Tobias. What time is it for you? I can probably say she's super proud of that. Dude, it looked like she did that like as her thing, though. Like that she would do that to every table she served. So it was genuinely like, okay, this lady has like mind powers or something. Yeah, weird story, stupid little tangent to go on in the stream like this, but that was just insane to me. We were talking about Puerto Rico and it triggered that core memory. Sorry, just landed back from Norway. Oh, you're good, dude. I'll say anything else beyond that, but he works at a cool place. Tobias is an AI bot, but I can't prove it. That's so mean. 4 a.m. I left house. 8 a.m. I arrived. Okay, maybe he's AI. Meetings and negotiating until 2, and then rushed back. What a legend. Still didn't tell me what time it was. Now back on home soil. Dude, we're glad to see you there. I'd have to invade Europe if they took you. Wouldn't be the first time. You know what? You didn't answer me, so I'm just going to consult Google. Amsterdam time, that's right. You're 7 hours ahead of me. Okay, so it's almost 7 p.m. for you. It's 6:49. It's not bedtime yet. What time does it get dark in Amsterdam? Would you say about this time of year? Because of course that's going to change. But as of right now, when does the sun start to set? When does it start to get dark out for you? The Kingdom of Lag has declared war on Denmark for the 4th time. Now? Oh, okay. In like 2 hours. Damn, it doesn't get dark till like 9 o'clock? We're in different worlds right now for sure. That actually got me, leg. I was honestly picturing like the Empire stuff. Marching noises in the background of my head, like PTSD. I saw videos like that. I don't know what he was doing in it, but it was like, it was an old guy who was definitely in World War II, and he was still like hyped and happy as ever. And they were like, this guy doesn't have PTSD. He has fond memories. I lost my shit when I read that comment. This guy doesn't have PTSD. He has fond memories. That's pretty good. If you guys tuned in, by the way, be sure to drop a like on the stream. Honestly, I really don't even really care about that today, so I don't even know why I'm repeating that. It's a news day. Who cares? But if you did tune in, drop a like. It is very nice to have everybody supporting the stream. And you guys actually got us in the last month. I think we got the most views on a stream yesterday. That was our most viewed stream in the past like month or so. Pretty crazy. Yeah, but this is the best it will be. Last year we had thick clouds from end of October to January. I didn't see the sun for... Oh, I forgot. Y'all have stuff like that. Y'all have like crazy weather that just like doesn't go away. I'm in the south of the United States. That does not happen here. That's pretty crazy though. Thick clouds for months. Imagine that. I've always thought about that too with like the rainforest. Imagine being in like a rainforest kind of area. It's just raining all the fucking time. Tobias, what's up, G? Oh, yeah, Kev was in here now. Or again. Tobias always stops in here and there. So if you guys ever miss Tobias as much as I do, you could always catch him for a few minutes in the streams. Even though he's busy as hell with work and wife and house, he still takes time to join the streams. He's very real for that. Are you bisexual? Is he talking to me? I am not bisexual, no. That was a random question, but I'll answer it. I watched a cloud get absolutely obliterated by Arizona. Heat the full... Oh. That poor cloud had no clue what hit it. I am good. Poly market's better than options. Is it really that cool? I was a little sad because you said you were going to do MU or whatever first, and you already placed your thing. But I went to go look at the earnings date, and I was like, oh, we got to wait. I went to the chart to like hype you up in trade floor, and then I saw it wasn't happening yet. SPY did make it down to 658 almost. And just to remind everybody, that is a halfway point of, I think that's 3 or 4 days ago now. 3 or 4 sessions ago, not days. Bum, bum, bum. Sheesh. The Fed decision has a 200 million liquid market, better than most shit companies I trade. Squeeze 40% out of it with $5. Almost zero fees. What a poly marker. I'm going to need a training. Oh, if you go to his channel, sorry, Kevo, I was reading. If you go to his channel to Biased, I'll show you on stream too. By the way, shout out to Carl. I mean, I had to boost the server again, too. But he... What the fuck is this? Honestly, I'm not even mad. I'm just surprised. But y'all's names look cool now. That's what I was going to say. Well, not that guy's, but everybody else's name looks cool. Except mine. What was I saying, though? I got caught off with that fucking parlay. Right here. If you see me punching a vote in trade floor, please think and vote. We are playing poly market odds since, well, I can and Americans can't. He's, again, asserting his dominance over us being from the Netherlands. Rules are simple. Majority wins. We bet 10% of available cash at all times. He's just doing a fun little thing with his account. If we win money, I'm going to keep it. If we lose money, I'm going to lose it. That is how that works. I see this as play money. So right, he's essentially rich and he's shitting on us, but he's trying to be nice. But if the account gets over to the point where it's real money, I'm going to do some stupid shit with it, is what he really meant to type. First bet is in. So right now he's betting on, which you really should have typed the ticker. That was very confusing for some of us. He put it up here. I'll just go find it. Where art thou? When the hell did we do that? This could have been done a lot quicker if I had just typed his stupid name. You know what? God, I love betting on shit. Polymarket hooked me in, I can't lie. I didn't even realize you typed this. I didn't even see this. 40 to 1 that Powell leaves rates unchanged. Man, I don't think it's going to happen, but damn, I like those odds. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. There's no way he's leaving it unchanged. That is actually so... Here it is. Here it is. So if you see him do like a poll in the trade floor randomly, it's not random. It's literally him trying to get you guys to help join in on choosing which one he's going to bet on. So he'll come in here and be like, do you think MU's going to beat or nah? And then it's just a fun little challenge for his little account he's doing. Which, knowing Tobias, I could actually see this working out. Honestly, I call bullshit, but I will still find this funny. 20 plus on lag? Hell yeah. Oh my, it's one of the best Key and Peele skits. Whenever he does like the barcode guy, and it's like him just making the craziest like alien noises. Oh, very, very big boy review by D-Touch and the resultant review. Again, mad respect. I know a lot of people, and a lot of us have done it in the past too. You know, maybe you took a trade and you didn't even review your loss. You're just like, fuck this. Like, at least he went back into the chat and went, you know what? I lost this trade. I'm going to review it. So random but acceptable. I mean, parlays are essentially like options, so I like one more than the other if we're being honest, but I do respect it. I do respect it. But yeah, so for Kevo and anybody who is interested in what the hell poly market is and what Tobias meant the other day, that is what that is. It's very, very cool. It's just a fun way Tobias can engage with you guys even more than he already does, which is honestly a lot. You guys don't read his channel enough. I think I'm like one of... I should go look at the analytics, but I'm probably one of like 20 people who read that channel. And he posts some pretty big macroeconomic information. I find it very crucial, even when I don't personally know some of those things. because he is a lot more educated. He literally does that shit, so we'd be stupid not to listen. MU was the first AI company. Ping me in the chat if you want to play earnings. This motherfucker's itching for it. I already did it. Play it at liquid market script for 40%. Oh, you did? You're crazy. Good morning. What's up, Sandollar? Good to see you, bro. Sketchy connection on FOMC day. Are you out and about? Is that why? I'm assuming. Jesus, lag. I don't even know if I can read what you just said out loud. That's really funny, though. I don't even know if I should politely laugh at that or not. The Mexican economy was decimated when Canelo lost. Oh, my God. That is a comment of comments, let me tell you. No, you weren't wrong. It's a very cutthroat way of putting it. That was good. When I scalp NQ during FOMC, it makes me feel like the old people who smoke in a casino. Did you get to go to Starbucks, Sandollar? The famous Starbucks? The one and only? I'm glad Grassfed replied, because yeah, that is correct. You are very correct on that. You win. You win 10 virtual points in this game that doesn't exist. Lag. Trade floor is golden right now. I needed that. Which of these don't belong? I didn't even delete it either. I left it. I was like, fuck it. We're leaving it. It's now a part of the stream. It is noon. Officially a little over noon. In about an hour we'll be in the last part of the day. Which again, guys, in about 55 to 56 minutes, you do have the interest rate news coming out, the rate statement and September news coming out, and then 30 minutes following that, you will have the press conference with Powell, which I may or may not pull that up on stream. I'm really not sure yet. Probably, just because what the hell else would we watch? Probably put it up on like the side so you could still see Spy, though. You don't do Starbucks. It's a breakfast cafe locally. Oh, that's what that is. Now you're in the library. Based. What are you looking for in the library? The latest anime? If we do cuts now, maybe in 10 years, I can afford a down payment on a $1 million, 800 square foot house. Maybe. It's funny because like my mom is like heavily involved with like I don't even know how to explain it because I'm not smart at all, but she does like titles and stuff for like houses and like she does a lot. Like it's a very big region of the South, and her company is like one of the big four, I think is what they call them in the United States. And she constantly tells me, she's like, please let me know when interest rates get cut or when they're coming down. And I remember telling her the other day, I was like, it looks like they're going to come down a quarter point. And she was like, oh, so they're not coming down. I was like, what does that mean? She's like, well, that's not shit, is what she was saying. I mean, it does sound like it's not shit, but she was actually saying like it does nothing. It does absolutely nothing. It's almost like they're doing it to like shut us up a little bit longer because everybody's like, bring them down, Trump included. Maybe in 10 years. That's pretty funny. A down payment on a $1 million 800 square foot house. How true that is. Open is just casually up 16.5%. Why am I just now noticing that? Just casually. And it's funny because it's not even breaking a new high. What happened? Who opened the door? Oh, you had a meeting there. Oh, that's pretty cool. Some big boy tings. Lag's like, no, I wasn't trying to make you laugh. Like, the math literally checks out. Look. We're all going to be broke forever. Okay. It's true, though. At 6%, a 600K home is about 980K 30. That is fucked. Yeah, my mom was saying that. She's like, if anybody doesn't own a house right now, good luck getting one in the next, like, few years at all. And she said that years ago, and she's still saying it now. It's like, okay. And she used to be a realtor, too, so that's another thing that plays into it. She, like, my mom really knows about housing. That's, if she knows one thing, it's housing and like that and how it affects the economy and stuff. And she says it's fucked. Like, if you're, I also want to repeat this to anybody in here. If you're someone who's renting right now, has an apartment, you have some bullshit house you're renting, you can't afford to get a house yet, like, please don't feel bad. Like, it is nothing in your control. Like, unless you go out and make even more money, you're not going to be able to afford owning your own house. Or a nice house, that is. So I like to repeat that because I've actually seen the realities of this, and it can actually break people down. So I want to repeat that. If you're someone in here who is in that category, I literally had to just sell my house, not even that long ago. So I'm right there with you. So I know there's a lot of people out there who are kind of in between on like where they want to go live and where they want to go, where they want to go do, but you're really limited on options right now. But I really want to iterate that, like, please, you are not. I don't want to sit here and be like, fuck the government, fuck everything, it's not your fault. Like, it's not. I'm not trying to do that. We're not trying to do the blame game. But I do want you to know, like, most of the time, it's not your fault. We just need to be patient and wait longer, which is a very fucked up and sad reality. But I just want you to know, keep working hard. It's not something you can just change overnight. But I know there's a fuck ton of people who have that same opinion. It's just like, it's shitty and it's a reality you just have to kind of deal with. And all of us are dealing with it. It's not just California. It's not just Texas. It's not just Florida. No, it's the majority of the world, but it's a very big chunk of the United States for sure. We're not in a position where somebody could just go out and buy a new house anytime they want. It's not that kind of market right now. A lot of people, too, will have you believe otherwise. And then also there's another thing happening. And it's another thing I don't truly understand all the way. But there's a lot of things changing with how property is bought and transitioned over. There's also big changes on this on an international level, too. Like, China can't come over here and buy land from Texas anymore. That's not a thing they can do anymore. That's a really, really big change, considering that's been happening for a very long time. Not just China, but that's a good example. They've been doing it to us. We've been doing it to them. Other countries have done it to us. We've done it to them. Like it's interconnected globally. Nike is financing their shoes. We're cooked. Are they really? You can finance Nike shoes? Honestly, why does that surprise me? You can finance a DoorDash order or an Uber Eats order, whatever I saw that day. That shouldn't surprise me. China also not buying Nvidia anymore? Yeah. Us and China aren't on the greatest talking terms right now. I would live in a storage unit if I could. Nah, we blaming that. Yeah, that is someone you could blame. I'm cool with anybody in here bitching and moaning about private equity and all that stuff, because that is true. BlackRock or Black Sock and all those people, you know, they actually do want to see you homeless. They want to see you homeless or becoming homeless because you gave all your money to them. That's basically what they want. I don't think that light of them. They are pretty evil. But they focus on money. That's their thing. They don't see us as people. They see us as statistics and money. Part of the game. But yeah, I like to iterate that because I know there's some people, especially in my chat. You know, I have a lot of mature people in my chat who are probably in that situation too. So, but hey, just do what I did. Just buy a new puppy. Ignore half of what's going on. And then deal with the other half. It works. You own nothing, but you will be happy. Well, that last part was a lie. I swear, some of you could be like script writers. Some of this shit feels like I'm reading it out of like a script of something. You own nothing, but you will be happy. What's the weather like in the Netherlands today? Is it cool over there? Is it hot? It's been getting cooler over here. And when I say that, lag, specifically talking to lag, I genuinely mean like it's so nice that it dropped 3 or 4 degrees at one point. I told my mom about someone in my chat, lag, being from Arizona, because we always bitch about the heat, and we're literally living in the heat. And I was like, yeah, one of these guys in my chat lives in Arizona, and she was like, fuck that. She was like, screw that, the dry heat sucks. Honestly, though, I gotta argue, though, the humid heat sucks just as much, dude. I can't stand either of them. When it's a true, like, desert dry hot or a true, like, humid hot, like, both of them are just insufferable. Even if you're someone who is used to it. You're still on that idea where you make TikToks using really out-of-pocket price... Wait, what? Oh, PAs like little emojis, but somehow stay profitable, not telling them I use the BB system. Oh, that would be pretty funny, actually. Humid sucks, but Arizona at 110 and above your skin. And above your skin cells literally dying. Yeah. No, you're not lying. That is actually true. I didn't learn about that till I went into... When I told you about that attic, that was like 160 because there was like something leaking or something, so it made it hotter. But I remember... Someone told me that. They're like, yeah, you're actually dying past a certain, like, heat. I'm like, what? Like, yeah, you're actually dying at a faster rate than the rest of us when you're in a certain temperature. I was like, Which, let me look that up. What is the temperature? It might be 110, but I think it's a little higher. Which is a crazy thing to hear out loud from someone. It's like, what? I'm just changing out your water heater, dude. Why are you telling me that? Oh, it's actually less than 110 degrees. At about 107.6. I had to do that in American because somebody said 42 Celsius. I had to Google what that is in American. Would you ever move to LA? I don't know. I actually have. I'm not political at all. Like, I genuinely am so dead set in the center that I genuinely just like I don't care. So whenever people are like, "I wouldn't go to LA. There's too many Democrats there," bro, that doesn't even cross my mind. They have a lot of homeless, like Houston does. So that's like another thing I'd be used to. But I've heard LA is beautiful and there's like literally a billion things to do. So I honestly I would think about it. Yeah. I heard LA is beautiful and there's just like a shit ton of things you can do. You could never get bored, is what I've heard. Don't you have $8 gas? Yeah, they do have expensive gas, but honestly, all gas is kind of expensive, right? Let's be honest. Even when prices were lower before, LA's was more expensive than down here, but that's a regional thing. Everywhere's prices are going to be different. Do it, brother. I'm not political either. Yeah, I have to always start off with that too, because I feel like when you start off with saying I'm in the center, people treat you a lot nicer. And I don't do that as like a defense like I genuinely know, like I can't stand even thinking about that shit. I hate when people bring it up. Orange County is beautiful. LA is, I don't know. It reminds me a lot of like some of the things in Houston, but probably a lot more beautiful. Because I know y'all have y'all's fair share of homeless people, but that happens in a lot of big cities right now. And I'm not just talking about homeless people. I mean, like, there's, like, needles everywhere and dead bodies here and there. But that's in every major city. Let's be honest. But I've heard nothing but great things about LA besides that. It'd be cool, too, to go to the coast. I'm not going to lie, that coast over there. Because apparently I've been to California before when I was young. I don't remember it, but we went to Disney World or Disneyland or whatever the hell's in California over there. I think it's World over there. And then Disneyland's in Florida. But I don't remember it at all. But yeah, I would think about it. I would definitely want to stay on one of the coasts. South, east, west, I don't care. I need to be near a coast, though. I need to be in like a couple-hour drive of any coast. I don't care if it's 3-4 hours. Like that's whatever. Move to Monterey, where all the millionaires are at. I'll move there if you get me a spot, lag. I mean, that's if you're paying. You're buying. I'll go. I know you got it like that. You're over here talking about being able to afford 800 square feet. So like, I know you got it. I actually fought a homeless at San Diego during a TDY when I was in the Air Force. What? A homeless man fought someone in the Air Force? This guy must have been on some really good drugs. There's still a lot of good people here in LA. Plus, the weather is perfect out here most of the time. I have heard that, too. I've heard the weather is literally amazing. Which is a huge plus for me. Because I feel like a lot of people don't like take that into calculation when they do move to a different city. Like, I wouldn't be moving to where Lag is, and I promise you Lag would not move to another spot in Arizona or Texas. Like, he's going to find somewhere that's completely different. 3-piece and a biscuit. It's 80 where you're at? What the? I was bragging about it being 85 here for like 2 hours the other day. I was like, man, 85 degrees is so nice when you're used to 95. 80 it would be beautiful. Lag would probably like relapse if he felt 80 degrees right now. Poor guy. What's the temperature in Arizona right now? Where you're at, Lag? Just to give everybody here a scare. Is it close to a triple digit? I wouldn't be able to survive in warm blood. You'd die if you went to a different place. Yeah. Can't even relocate you anymore. I remember the one time, Lag, and I'm sure you've done something similar to this, but when I went to a trip to Colorado one time, Oh my god. Dude, I went from like dying in humid, hot weather in Texas to snowy seas in Colorado. Night and day, bro. Two different fears in a week, let me tell you. A cool 99 right now. Oh, that's actually so funny and fucked up. A cool 99. He's like, no, the Lord blessed us. We're not in triple digits today. Oh, that's so funny. Instant hypothermia. Dude, it's wild, too, because people make fun of us, but, like, it's a real thing. Like, I bet you get cold quick. Like, yeah, I bet you're right. I bet I do. This skin wasn't built for cold. Built for the scorching sun. We're the type of people who brag about 85, 90 degrees, you know? Like, ooh, that's cool. I love it when you talk to somebody who just knows exactly what the hell you're talking about. When it comes to heat, Lag knows everything. Ocean Beach, 6 hours away. Oh, yeah, you're over there too, Sandollar, aren't you? I'll just go live with Sandollar. Honestly, it would be so cool to learn how to fly from Sandollar. I only got that first flying lesson. I never did it again. But that would be so dope to go do that again. A Canadian coming to Arizona would literally get Thanos snapped. Wacko Jacko comes to visit because he's from Canada. He's like bottom left Canada. It's pretty cold where he is. He says temperatures too that just sound unbelievable to me. Like they're real, but they sound unreal to me because it's like, what? It can get that cold? Like he says like negative and like a double digit comes out of his mouth. I'm like, nah, no fucking way. I'm not doing that. There's people that get used to that. I just couldn't. We're complete opposites. We were not built the same. All right, guys, we're about 38 minutes away from news coming out, and then about 68 minutes from Powell. 67. The second I gotta wear pants, nah. Yeah, and this down here in the South, we wear pants to be formal, not because we want to wear pants. It's fucking hot. Where's everybody from in the stream? I know where Lag's from. I know where Sandollar's from. We now know where Kyle is from. I know Alst isn't actually from where he says he is. I think he's genuinely from another planet. What's funny about LA people will start wearing beanies and gloves when it's low 70s, high 60s. What? Actually, that makes sense. Because they're probably like, damn, it's kind of getting cool out here. That's funny. Alst is from the frozen oceans of Mars. I would be wearing a puffer jacket at low 90s. No, hold up. This is Lag when it's like 89 degrees. Well, I gotta find it. Okay, this is Lag. Why is it taking me to Facebook? This is Lag when it's 89 degrees outside. I just zoom in a lot for that picture. Holy. I can't put my arms down. Then the mom just closes both arms. Like, what? Texas? Hell yeah. That's what I like to see. Yeah, sorry guys for the not exciting spy chart. Of course, it's just a news day, but I honestly only was going to stream because I just wanted to be here for anybody who was trying to trade or trying not to trade or just trying to chill. It is a pretty big news day. This could even be seen as the biggest news event of the year, just because the only other one I would give it to would probably be when the interest rate said, no, we're not going to go up anymore. We're going to pause for a while. That was probably the other biggest news of the year. I would put this up there, though. And in my opinion, again, and I can link the part of the stream that it was at. It was like the first 20 minutes of stream I was breaking this down. A lot of this could have already been priced in. So there isn't always that, oh, if it's good news, we'll go up. Like, no, if it's been priced in, we're going to go down. Missouri, nice. Misery. How hot is it in Missouri right now? Missouri temperatures. Okay, okay. It's about 87. Holy fuck, y'all's humidity is crazy. And that's coming from me. Still an hour into Powell. Yeah, Powell's in about an hour, but the interest rate news comes out in about 34 minutes. I think also they're coming out with the September FOMC, which is just minutes of a meeting that they had. Dude, it's hilarious how many times people are like, bro, are you gonna stream FOMC? Brother, what are you talking about? FOMC is data. it's a big script. Powell is the part that can be streamed. But he's always 30 minutes after. And sometimes he's a little later, sometimes a little early. But it's around 30 minutes every time. Tobias, I know exactly why you're typing that. The only reason I want 0 or 50 is because these have better odds. Better odds of, paying out more, not not actually good odds. That's funny, though. It could be 50, man. It would be pretty wild if he came out and said 50. I'll be honest. I would respect the Fed a lot more if they came out today and said, we're cutting it by 0.50. But it's a very high probability that's not happening. There were 10 IPOs on Robinhood that retail had access to. If you played the same amount on each IPO, if you sold in the first 30 minutes, you would have made 47.3% to 100.4%. What? And of course, Dr. J got locked on the one that went 7 to 9%. They did my boy dirty. That is crazy data, though. Thank you for sharing that, Dr. J. I'm even going to pin that to the thing today. He's been sharing this data a few days now. That's pretty interesting. So anybody who has Robinhood, you could definitely be taking advantage of that. Well, not just Robinhood, but... Just got back here from a week in the mountains and Durango and came back to this humidity. Oh, dude, I bet you're like, what the hell happened here? Well, that's cool. You're up at the mountains. That sounds awesome. Was it just for, like, fun, or you had work up there, or... I'll send to Discord. Bet. Please do, because that is actually very cool data. Bet $4. It went to $6. I sold $3. $1 locked in. If we win, I get $22. Which honestly, this is kind of a big deal because he didn't start this account with a whole lot. The poly market. If you somehow get this account to like $1,000 one day, I will be utterly impressed. I'll be speechless. Losing my freaking voice. Humana. Hitman Stefan typing in chat. That is a throwback. You know, Lag, he used to be the comedian in chat. 22 whole buckaroos. Hey, man. That's McNugget money right there, dog. He comes in chat and says, where the OG's at. We use everything we learned, correct sizing, asymmetrical upside while protecting downside. This motherfucker. I like how professional you're making it all sound too. I mean, that's just how Tobias works. We used everything we learned, correct sizing, asymmetrical upside while protecting the downside. Our parlay can't fail. Did some hiking to the 14ers. 14ers. I'm stupid. What does that mean? Oh, that's a... I see here. Oh, you went above 14,000 feet. Bro, how's the oxygen at 14,000? One second, I'm gonna take my puppy outside. I'll be right back. Parlays are for stupid people. Just play liquidity, bro. Real. Base Tobias at his finest. Be right back. All right, I'm back. Begins to get scarce. It was crazy. You had to take it slow. I bet. What do they call it when you go up like a certain amount of height and then you chill there for like a night and then you go up a little more? It's like getting used to like the higher elevations that you're not used to breathing at. I don't remember what it's called, but I always thought that shit was crazy. Suffering. Yeah, that's accurate. Lag is on a roll, dude. This is what happens when you get a lag that isn't paying attention to the stock charts. It's a good lag. It's a good lag to have. It's the best lag around. The best lag in the whole world. Acclimate. There you go. There's that big word. Yeah, imagine having to acclimate every other night. Oh. I can't scoot my chair up because she's eating my bone right there. She's eating her bone right under my chair. Good bounce after the 658 test. Couple inside bars to show for it. Little break up. Couple hammers showing to the upside. Sandwich candle. A little bit of continuation up. But they're right where we kind of continued to fall from. So they're at a deciding point on the chart right now at 659.11. And what is everyone's opinions in here on the news today? I mean, I don't really care if you believe the cut's happening or not. It is mostly happening. But what do you think will happen to the price action afterwards? Do you think we get some pullback? Do you think you get a little bit of a pump because of the initial hype and then a pullback? What do you think is going to happen? Or we just launch for the moon? I can move my chair up finally. Sandollar, you actually think no cuts are happening? I respect him. He's double downing on it. Yeah, if there's no cuts, we're falling off the face of the earth. I think it's like a 0% chance we're not getting that we won't get a cut, though. I think it's very close to that. But if... As door goes squeak, yeah. I didn't know you could hear that. That's kind of funny. We're betting on FedEx. Send it. I'll look at FedEx. Is it because of earnings? Oh, yeah. Tobias, dude. Why's my chart all fucked up? I mean, I kind of like the trend up till this point. They kind of slowed down here, and these are lower highs. It's definitely squeezing. Like, if there's people drawing trend lines on this, there's definitely a squeeze happening here. Into the earnings. So, yeah, that's interesting. Lag says raises the rates. Oh my god, there might be a negative percent chance that that's possible. But if that somehow happened, it would be even worse than what Sandollar said with just like pulling back, or what did he say? What are his exact words? He said no cuts, flush down. It wouldn't just be a flush if we raised rates. It would be a fucking tornado hitting every chart, and that would be horrible. The wheels on a matte or laminated wood floor. It's on the personal rooms have carpet. All the hallways have tile or wood. Which we're actually gonna replace all the carpet and do like either wood or probably wood. I don't really want to do tiles in my room. I've been having to take care of this house because this is the house that's going to get passed down to me. And I don't really plan on selling it, so I think I'll just keep taking care of it. My chair? It's a Secret Lab chair. I almost forgot the name. If we raise you, make $1,000 for every dollar you bet. Or are you the broker now? I got all them odds. Honestly, the Tobias app would go harder than the Polymarket app. The only thing I didn't like about Polymarket, Tobias, and this is the central part of me coming out. I don't like that people are betting on politics. Like, that's crazy. I get sports. I get like random news events in the world. Like, that's even kind of a little weird, but I get it. But the politics is crazy. One of them was really stupid, too. It said, like, how many times will Trump say this or do that in a year span or something? It's like, huh? What are these bets? Herman Miller? I ain't got that kind of money. This chair was like $500 or $600 or something at the time. I should have got a Herman Miller, though. No bullshit, Sandollar. We all should have got Herman Millers before COVID when they were $1,000. Now they're $2,000. Those are like the god chairs, though. Like, that's probably the chair of chairs. You should see the time people were betting Angel Reese missing her first shot during each game. That's actually kind of fucked up. Wait. Isn't she the one that was like a Caitlin Clark hater or something? I'm not caught up on all that, to be honest with you. Is she the Caitlin Clark hater? That's pretty funny, though. 6-0 is wild. They're like, damn. They're literally profiting from her downfall. That's fucked up. It's betting on war. It's betting on everything. Have a high moral compass unless I am betting shit. All things go. No, I'm not even trying to do the moral compass thing. It is a little fucked up. Like, I'm not even trying to sit here and be like, I'm better than people who bet on that. But no, I don't think that at all. If anything, we're near the same boat. I can see their boat from my boat. For a chair, well, to be fair, Herman Millers are like me calling it a chair is kind of like crazy, honestly. It's not just a chair. It's everything. Like, when you go to like all those expensive hospitals, those are those chairs. Dude, I go to Goodwill and get an office chair for my deer stand. Not a gamer. I like real. Oh, that's true too. I mean, for a deer stand though, that's good though. That's all you really need. No bullshit. I think every deer stand I've been in, it either has like a built, like really bullshit wood bench that you're sitting on, or someone has like an office chair from like, you could tell it was like from like a back lot or something. They took it, or just a really old chair and they have it in there. That's funny. That's all you need too. Oh, I'm not reading that comment out loud, but you did just remind me of a South Park episode. But yeah, those Herman Millers can be expensive. My chair is expensive, but I'll be honest with you. I've been keeping care of it, and it is like, it's still in mint condition. I've had it for a very long time now, and I plan to have it for a lot longer time. Since I spent that money on it. I'll have to ask my son if he has one. No, your son probably has the other famous one. It was the chair I literally upgraded from. What is it called? Is it Secret Lab? No, that's the one I have. What the hell's the other one? The red. It's like red and black. I remember everybody had that chair. It's a really dope chair though. If your son has a Secret Lab though, that's a flex. I feel like you would know though, if he did. But it's actually like the exact same chair as mine, except it's a different version. I forgot the name of it though. Steel case chair from 2020, one of the blinds. Damn, you hunt too, Sandollar? I guess that's a stupid question. What does Sandollar not do? He is the most interesting man in the world. I just looked up that Hammond chair. I swear we used to throw those around in the office. Oh, you probably have, Lag. You've probably seen plenty of them. You've definitely seen her. Like, you might not know it, but you've definitely seen Herman Millers. They are not a cheap chair. They've almost always been like at least a 4-figure chair. Yeah, they're heavy. Yeah, they're heavy. It's like a big thing you put together. Like once you put this chair together, it'll last through like a nuclear war. Like, not really, but this is not an ad either. I'm not advertising for Herman Miller. And honestly, I have a cheaper chair than that. This one's fine. It's sturdy. We used to joust with them in the military. That was very expensive jousting then. He moved back to Texas last year. I've only been to his house once. Didn't pay. Oh, okay. Fair enough. Bro, if I was POWELL and a crypto platform offered 1,000 odds while the president is shit talking me, I would raise 25 in a heartbeat while my nephews get rich. Tobias, they would figure that out though. They would get exposed the same way that Nancy got exposed. And yeah, they'd only get a slap on the wrist, but it'd be something. My dog's growling at me because I'm not playing with her. And then start the speech with FEO calls homie. I hunt, I eat a lot of things, but I don't let things eat me. Bars. Sandollar, you didn't tell us you were a philosopher as well. Damn, dude. Bro's spitting. I hunt, I eat a lot of things, but I don't let things eat me. And then start to speak. Oh, I already read that. It's showing the same message twice sometimes when I click on live chat. That is so weird. I've almost done it twice now. Y'all are probably so bored of just watching Spy. I've honestly just been staring at YouTube chat. It's been way more enjoyable. You scroll TikTok on the side? Okay, good. Maybe I'll pull this up on the side so we can have it ready for when the news comes out. There we go. You just scalped that short. You're actually a legend for that. Very risky, but I like where your head's at. Yeah, coming up to touch it, and you never know if it's gonna pull back, but a lot more times than not, you will get that quick little reaction to it. It looks like it's trading around right here too, like where this made its lower high to drop. It kind of looks like that's where it's kind of going up to rest and then find its support. So it might even be using it as support now. No, very, very cool, very cool. Eight minutes, guys. Or actually, it's less than that. Seven, little under, little over 7. Third screen gonna be playing total. Wait, what? That's actually kind of a flex. Flags like work. What do you mean? What the hell is that? No, you're actually super base for showing me the Darth mod. I've said it before, I'll say it again. You reignited it for me. I haven't really been playing it as much, though, because I've been watching this show on Xfinity. My mom hooked me up with her Xfinity login, so I've been abusing it. I didn't realize how dope Xfinity was. $250,000 liquidity on PAL, starting with good afternoon, everybody. What? Is that actually a thing, Tobias? Send me a screenshot. Is that actually something someone can bet on right now? Will FedEx beat earnings? Guys, go vote in the trade floor. Trade floor. Will FedEx beat earnings? I'm going to say yes, they do. I went with no on MU. I'm going to go with yes on FedEx. I like how you put the clown emoji for no. It's actually good. Tobias, I love this idea of yours, honestly. I know it's like funny and it's like whatever, but it is actually a really good idea. Whoever actually like engages with this will have fun. This is probably one of your best ideas for the chat. For like a fun little side thing. This is actually really cool. No fucking way. Check trade floor. That wasn't even a joke. He wasn't pulling my leg. What will Powell say during September press conference? Good afternoon has 96%, and there's... What? Bro, say no. Say no. Say no. What's the smallest amount you can bet? Bet that on no. He's going to come out and say good evening. My boy Powell is the old timer. He doesn't say afternoon. Actually, he probably says it all the time. What state is he from? What random stereotypes can we make? Jerome Powell. Jerome Jal. He was born in Washington, D.C.? Okay, well that says everything. Never mind. He always says it? Damn it. What if he doesn't today, though, dude? What if he doesn't, dude? When you're pushing your friend to make the worst bet of his life. Why not, dude? He could do it. All right, guys, we're getting very close to this news coming out. This will be the rate decision, as well as the rate statement and the September notes from their meeting. And then 30 minutes after that, Powell will stream. He will be live and he will be yapping. Looks like Trump speaks an hour from now on Fox. Why hasn't the government just made their own, or like the Fed? Why hasn't the Fed made their own, like, news outlet? I know that seems a little weird, but like no one likes Fox, MS. I don't like any of them. Like, I'm sorry, if you actually watch the news, you're crazy. Besides, like, for weather, I mean, that's cool. But why hasn't, like, someone, like, I'm not even trying to say non-biased, but someone individually just made their own news outlet? It would probably pop off. Actually, I don't know who even watches TV news anymore. I don't really know a lot of people that do. I'm pretty sure that's why another reason the numbers are down. There's so many, like, individual people you can watch on YouTube these days who will give you an accurate description of every little bit of weather happening in your area. It's actually really dope. If y'all haven't looked at that, definitely check that out. Take advantage. You can get way better weather reports from freaking YouTube. From a individual, hardworking, random American on YouTube doing his thing. Like, you'll find someone with very, very cool little designs, charts, all that kind of stuff. There's a few people who are pretty big now for doing it. Like C-SPAN? Oh, is C-SPAN a thing? Am I just stupid? Oh, yeah, kind of like C-SPAN, yeah. I don't know, I feel like somebody could take all the numbers away from, like, the left and the right news outlets, because, like, they're just both so bad. The way they word things is crazy, too. There is no such thing as left and right. Everyone's far left and far right. And then there's people who just want to hear weather. Alright, guys, the algorithms are definitely reacting to the news being dropped. Or reactions getting ready. Why is my dog biting my hand? Lily, that's my hand. Ow. This is the cutest fucking dog ever. Lag. I simply look outside. Uh-oh. I guess I gotta open the chart up more. Humana, 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 humana. It looks like they did cut it by 0.25. Yeah, 0.25. So the 0.25, the 96, 97, 98% probability of that happening did end up hitting. Which, if you connect that to what I said, the breakdown would happen. I said you're either going to get a good reaction that leads into a pullback or you just get a pullback. Because this is expected. A lot of people have already bet on this happening, so it's probably going to reject this and pull back. Now, this can change, of course, if something else comes out. This is also my earlier explanation. Outside of just the cut news itself, which everybody is so super heavily focused on, it's not just that. There's other news coming out that's going to also show the momentum of things. Moving forward, are we fucked? Are they going to be able to give us more cuts soon? Are they going to not give us cuts for a long time again? So that's kind of up in the air. So this is actually in line with exactly how I explained earlier. Posted review, short and sweet. Bet. Let me check it out. Damn, you got a good entry on that. This is the 1 minute, right? Yeah, I was gonna say. Damn, you got a really good entry on that. Like, the quotes were, like, in your favor when you were getting on that. And then it started moving down. That is really, really good. You lost $1? I am depressed, but what is the cool shit with my name? Oh, that's the gradient thing. I didn't even know what it was till Carl tagged me. I was like, what is he talking about? And then I was like, oh. I can make y'all's names glow and have gradients, which honestly, it's kind of cool looking. You can't even see it on lags because his is so small that there is no room for it to be a gradient. It's actually kind of funny looking. The green isn't as crazy. I could mess with that one more. The lifetime and the moderator one is honestly the coolest too because they're colors. Something stupid, but it looked cool. We hold the line, fellas. It's 190 or no dinner. Sorry, I was reading Trade Floor. I'm going to come back to YouTube stream, though. Practice, practice, practice. Get luck with the quotes, though. No, that wasn't luck. It was just good positioning. You bought it when it was not really high probability for it to look like a bearish chart. So a lot more people looking at that probably weren't starting to short it yet. They're probably waiting for an actual red candle to appear. So your quotes were just honestly probably a little bit more calm when you got in. And then as soon as that next candle appeared, it was instantly in your favor. Like you were probably up from the get-go on that trade. Here we go. Fed projections show one policymaker estimated the appropriate policy rate for year end at 4.25 to 450. One saw it. Damn, bro. What policymaker saw it at this? Promote that guy. See, this is the important news coming out. This is what the algorithms are about to eat up. What excess news is coming out? What's the tone? Do they feel like we're going to be able to cut again soon? Is this just like a one-off thing for a while? What the hell? Which it looks like all good news so far. I don't know how good, but that's decent news. Why isn't this in red? This is pretty fucking important. All right, well, they're trying to hold a pretty interesting area. I kept that highlighted because this is where we were using for short-term direction yesterday with the new all-time high. And we were under it all day today. Pulled back from it, so it looks like it did give them a chance of moving up towards it. Now let's see if they can maintain it or they're just going to reject it, which, unless more really good news comes out, I feel like we're just going to reject this and stay within the range of what we're already seeing. But if not, maybe we do just run up to 664. I'm not going to say it's not possible. Rambo spamming here. What's up, Rambo? It ain't spam if it's Rambo. My bad, I was reading something. Spam in Discord? Let me go look. Oh, yeah. Jesus, dude. What is with people? That message started with the craziest thing, too. What did he even say? Something about starting with 3.1 million? What the hell? What did I read? Oh, there's another one in the gaming channel. I think I got them all. There's actually two. What's up, though, Rambo? How you doing, bro? Just watching some of the price action from the interest rate news that came out today. It cut it by 0.25, which was majorly expected by most of the market. It's kind of cool, though. They started us off with a slightly down day to give them a chance of even reacting to the news to go up and hit that. Now that we've rejected it, we'll see if we remain under it for the rest of the day or if Powell can change that with his speech or live stream, whatever you want to call it, in about 18 minutes. Living the dream, dude. I love to hear it, man. I'm happy for you. BB is always a home to you anytime you feel like stopping by, bro. But I am very happy for you. Whatever's going on, I'm happy for you. I don't even need to understand it to be happy. Always a good time seeing that name pop up. Oh, thank you, by the way, Dr. J, for telling me. And Garden for tagging me. I'm not going to lie, it's like a red alert when I see Garden tag me because I'm like, oh, someone's fucking around in chat. Like, Garden tags me. There's no games being played. Yay, the market is going down. Shut up. It is working. The market is moving as I explained earlier. But we'll see if that continues. We all know the power of Powell. And I'm not trying to sit here and be like, I told you so. I knew I was going to be right. But I only pointed out 2 outcomes for today's news. So it really wasn't like I was a genius or anything. I was just laying out 2 different outcomes and just one of them hit. Whoever got this TDO reject is a G. Yeah, you're not lying. Whoever got that liquidity grab of all-time high is a god. Yo, I'm glad I actually put that stream marker on. Because I don't really like to cover, like, the paths that price can take based on news, but this one was pretty important. And I think it's also a good example on how you guys should expect news to be. If, like, let's say if we had an up day, I wouldn't have expected us to go up on that news at all. We probably would have just straight up rejected. But because everyone was betting on it happening, the majority... I mean, it was almost 100% of everybody saying that this was going to happen. It's pretty obvious that means this is what people say, front running or loading early, is because they're preparing price for the news to come out. So if the news is heavily bet on and expected to do a certain thing, in today's case, expecting it to get a 1/4 point cut, then it is heavily expected that things are good and going to go up, right? But if everyone's betting on that, then that can't happen. We've talked about that. So that's why I just wanted to make sure we understand that, because that's just an important template for just news events in general. Had the live pause for 6 minutes, and for 6 minutes I was like, BB is hella quiet. I was going to say, I haven't been able to shut up. Which I guess is part of my job, but... It's funny, though. Good to see you, Nard. Always a good time when Nard's in here. Nard has immaculate vibes. I really do give you guys the credit, too, for, like, the overall vibe of the streams, too. It's pretty chill. Like, even when there's, like, some random newcomer that comes in here, you guys are somewhat welcoming. So it's good. Yo, Lag, you want to pull up that PAL stream on your 16th monitor? Apparently, there's over $11 billion in stables has flowed into exchanges before the FOMC meeting. Big money knows something. In crypto stable coins. Stable coins just got an $11 billion pump just now. I don't know what the fuck that means, but that just happened apparently. I guess a stable coin is better than an altcoin. Somebody a little bit more informed, let me know. Somebody with actual knowledge on this topic. No. What are you chewing on? Lily, come here. No. No. What the fuck are you even chewing? Sorry, my dog was like literally chewing paper. I wish I had this dog growing up. This is a dog that could have actually eaten homework. And yes, I have it up ready to go. There's nothing ready yet. Which, let me get this over here. And then I'll mute it. And then we'll wait. Okay, so this is what's important, guys, right here. Please let me highlight. That is important. Holy God, Kevo. Kevo, what the fuck? Bro, did we not sit in here and say whoever catches that liquidity grab is a god? Do not check trade floor unless you want your hands to start shaking. What the fuck? Can't my total worth on it. Good enough excuse. Dude, I don't even know what to say. That is a crazy gain. I'm really happy it's Kevo, too. That is a fucking insane, insane outcome. Yeah, I mean, even if I was sitting here telling you how confident I was, I wouldn't. I'm still not confident to take a trade like he did like that. Like, that just shows the level of impact he has. That is insane. Good for him, though. What a fucking legend. He said he was patient all day for this. That is so cool. That is so fucking cool. All right. I'll quit gawking at him now. Did he start? No. All right, so this still makes sense, honestly. We went down, hit a pretty major area. Now we're just kind of chilling, waiting for Powell, because we all understand the impact Powell can have. By the way, guys, this is really big, because this kind of sets like a path for everybody moving forward. I'm gonna leave that highlighted. This is literally what I explained earlier. I said it's not about the rate cut. Everybody understands the 0.25 is coming. But what we don't know what is coming is what's after that. Them letting us know we're going to get another half cut off this year is honestly really good news. I'm a little cautious, though, on why they're only saying another quarter in the whole year of 2026 and another quarter in the whole year of 2027. Maybe they're trying to give us a bigger rate cut in 2025, like this one and the next one combined, and then maybe go slow to see how the data shows. But that is a little cautious for me. Just because that quarter point cut in a 1 year span, then another one in another 1 year span, that's a little weird. We'll be cutting literally almost double that just at the end of this year. So that is a little weird. Where'd you go? Oh, now they're highlighting it in red. See, that's what I'm talking. See, even they do it too. They don't want to show you the importance behind this, and then randomly, oh, now it's important. Bro, this news has been out for a minute. This is important, though. I'd say this is the most important news that came out today. It wasn't even the rate cut. It was this. So we'll see. Maybe they don't want to cut it too big, because then maybe the jobs data or inflation changes too quickly and they can't adjust, because it would be worse for them to cut it and be like, hold up guys, we got to raise it again. So I think they're trying to avoid being stuck in a situation where they have to hit their brakes multiple times. I feel like that's what's going on, but I could be wrong. But yeah, that end part definitely gives me a little bit of concern. We'll see, though. We'll see what if Powell says anything that makes the market start moving. And I'll have that pulled up here in a second. We got another few minutes, I think. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Do you have any opinions on this or anything? Anything on something I've said, maybe? Or something you think? Feel free to share whatever. Soft landing, recession is imminent. I don't know if it's imminent, but it definitely puts us on edge. But rate cuts are good. This is really good for us. My dog's asleep. Whenever I unmute this on OBS, let me know if this is too loud or not whenever it starts. If somebody could do that for me. What do I think about the play on VIX? I mean, I don't want to be a hater, but I think if you're just now getting onto VIX, I think it's a little late. I think the whole point of the VIX play was to be in before the news was coming out, like a day or two ago, beginning of this week, really. And it was also positioned really well. I think you even brought it up one of those days. It might have been Monday. Or maybe it was last week, but you brought it up at one point, and I talked about it as well on my own. But yeah, now VIX still looking kind of fine, not going to lie. I think it's still in a good spot where it could still rise. But I think for any new plays, I think you kind of missed out, if that's where you're coming from. If you're already in those plays and you're still in it, I think it honestly still looks good. I think VIX is placed in a really good spot for volatility to keep increasing. Plus, we don't know what's about to be said with old Jerome. If he comes out with an aggressive, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, then I'm honestly confident. I'm happy about it. But if he comes out and he sounds questionable, he doesn't sound like he knows what the fuck's going on, that's going to bring a lot of red candles on SPY and a lot of green candles on VIX. So I'd like to see what's about to happen. Well, this one that I'm referring to is a debit spread for an... Okay, you're already in one. No, yeah, if you're already in it, I'd keep doing you, to be honest, man. I can't tell you what to do. I'm not any smarter than you. Oh, guys, it's starting. Someone let me know if it's too loud or not. Should I like their stream? Bro, they disabled likes and dislikes. That's crazy. November T, you still have a pretty good amount of time. I was going to say number of time. Oh, there's Jerome.
Good afternoon. My colleagues and I remain squarely focused on achieving our dual mandate goals of maximum employment and stable prices for the benefit of the American people. While the unemployment rate remains low, it has edged up. Job gains have slowed, and downside risks to employment have risen. At the same time, inflation has risen recently and remains somewhat elevated.
Bet. Thank you, Carter.
In support of our goals, and in light of the shift in the balance of risks, today the Federal Open Market Committee decided to lower our policy interest rate by 1/4 percentage point. We also decided to continue to reduce our securities holdings. I'll have more to say about monetary policy after briefly reviewing economic developments. Recent indicators suggest that growth of economic activity has moderated. GDP rose at a pace of around 1.5% in the first half of the year, down from 2.5% last year. The moderation in growth largely reflects a slowdown in consumer spending. In contrast, business investment in equipment and intangibles has picked up from last year's pace. Activity in the housing sector remains weak. In our summary of economic projections, the median participant projects GDP to rise 1.6% this year and 1.8% next year, a touch stronger than projected in June. In the labor market, the unemployment rate edged up to 4.3% in August, but remains little changed over the past year at a relatively low level. Payroll job gains have slowed significantly to a pace of just 29,000 per month over the past 3 months. A good part of the slowing likely reflects a decline in the growth of the labor force due to lower immigration and lower labor force participation. Even so, labor demand has softened, and the recent pace of job creation appears to be running below the break-even rate needed to hold the unemployment rate constant. In addition, wage growth has continued to moderate while still outpacing inflation. Overall, the marked slowing in both the supply of and demand for workers is unusual. In this less dynamic and somewhat softer labor market, the downside risks to employment appear to have risen. In our SEP, the median projection for the unemployment rate is 4.5% at the end of this year and edges down thereafter. Inflation has eased significantly from its highs in mid-2022, but remains somewhat elevated relative to our 2% longer-run goal. Estimates based on the Consumer Price Index and other data indicate that total PCE prices rose 2.7% over the 12 months ending in August, and that, excluding the volatile food and energy categories, core PCE prices rose 2.9%. These readings are higher than earlier in the year as inflation for goods has picked up. In contrast, disinflation appears to be continuing for services. Near-term measures of inflation expectations have moved up, on balance, over the course of this year on news about tariffs, as reflected in both market and survey-based measures. Beyond the next year or so, however, most measures of longer-term expectations remain consistent with our 2% inflation goal. The median projection in the SEP for total PCE inflation is 3.0% this year and falls to 2.6% in 2026 and to 2.1% in 2027. Our monetary policy actions are guided by our dual mandate to promote maximum employment and stable prices for the American people. At today's meeting, the committee decided to lower the target range for the federal funds rate by a quarter percentage point to 4 to 4.25%, and to continue reducing the size of our balance sheet. Changes to government policies continue to evolve, and their effects on the economy remain uncertain. Higher tariffs have begun to push up prices in some categories of goods, but their overall effects on economic activity and inflation remain to be seen. A reasonable base case is that the effects on inflation will be relatively short-lived, a one-time shift in the price level. But it is also possible that the inflationary effects could instead be more persistent, and that is a risk to be assessed and managed. Our obligation is to ensure that a one-time increase in the price level does not become an ongoing inflation problem. In the near term, risks to inflation are tilted to the upside and risks to employment to the downside, a challenging situation. When our goals are in tension like this, our framework calls for us to balance both sides of our dual mandate. With downside risks to employment having increased, the balance of risks has shifted. Accordingly, we judged it appropriate at this meeting to take another step toward a more neutral policy stance. With today's decision, we remain well positioned to respond in a timely way to potential economic developments. We will continue to determine the appropriate stance of monetary policy based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks. In our SEP, FOMC participants wrote down their individual assessments of an appropriate path for the federal funds rate, based on what each participant judges to be the most likely scenario for the economy. The median participant projects that the appropriate level of the federal funds rate will be 3.6% at the end of this year, 3.4% at the end of 2026, and 3.1% at the end of 2027. This path is 1/4 percentage point lower than projected in June. As is always the case, these individual forecasts are subject to uncertainty, and they're not a committee plan or decision. Policy is not on a preset course. The Fed has been assigned two goals for monetary policy: maximum employment and stable prices. We remain committed to supporting maximum employment, bringing inflation sustainably to our 2% goal, and keeping longer-term inflation expectations well anchored. Our success in delivering on these goals matters to all Americans. We understand that our actions affect communities, families, and businesses across the country. Everything we do is in service to our public mission, and we at the Fed will do everything we can to achieve our maximum employment and price stability goals. Thank you. I look forward to our discussion.
Yeah, Kevo, that was pretty fucking awesome. I'm sorry, Trey. Trying to stay
Great.
quiet.
Thank you. Chris Rugaber at Associated Press. As you know, Fed Governor Stephen Myron has kept his position at the White House, even as he's joined the Fed board. This is the first time, I believe, the Fed's board has had someone with executive branch ties in decades. Does this compromise the Fed's independence from day-to-day politics? And relatedly, how can you maintain the public's perception the Fed is politically independent with this dynamic?
You took
Thank you.
more.
So we did welcome a new committee member today, as we always do. and the committee remains united in pursuing our dual mandate goals. We're strongly committed to maintaining our
Oh,
independence,
keep
and
it short.
beyond that, I really don't have anything to share.
Okay, and then just as a quick follow, I'm sorry, can you, you and other Fed officials have spoken extensively about the impact of tariffs on inflation, although perhaps with many companies appearing to eat the tariffs, tariffs may be
Round of
impacting
applause
the
for
labor
Kevo,
market
guys, if
and
you're
other
in
parts
here.
of the economy
Round of
instead.
applause for Kevo.
Do you see that as a possible outcome
The
here?
fact
that
that you even
tariffs are
think to give
the
credit to
reason
the
we're
guide
seeing
is
some slowing,
crazy.
particularly in the
Good
labor
shit, bro.
market, rather than in inflation?
You know, it's certainly possible. You know, we're beginning to see, we have begun to see goods prices showing through into higher inflation, and actually the increase in goods prices accounts for most of the increase in inflation, or perhaps all of the increase in inflation over the course of this year. Those are not very large effects at this point, and we do expect them to continue to build over the course of the rest of the year and into next year. And you know, it's also possible and that there may be effects on employment, but that I would say if you're looking at why employment is doing what it's doing, that's much more about the change in immigration. So the supply of workers has obviously come way down. There's very little growth, if any.
Did
in
you
the
catch
supply
my
of
breakdown
workers.
of
And at the same
what I
time,
thought this
demand
was
for
all gonna do
workers
based
has
on the
also
news
come down quite
earlier?
sharply.
or no?
And to the
'Cause
point
it was kind of in
where
line
we
with
see,
everything you did with your trade.
what I've
That's
called
why I
a
was wondering,
curious
but-
balance. It's, you know, typically
was
when we say
super
things are in
fucking
balance, that
kick-ass.
sounds good, but in this case, the balance is because both supply and demand have come down quite sharply.
You did?
Now
Fuck
demand coming down a
yes.
little more sharply because we now
I
see
didn't
the
wanna make
unemployment
anybody,
rate
like,
edging up.
FOMO, but it's very rare you see news like this have such a high probability on
Rose of the Wall
something
Street
to where
Journal.
it doesn't feel like you're
Chair
guessing.
Powell, do economic conditions and the balance of risks no longer
Easy to break
warrant
down,
a
hard to take
restrictive
action on
policy
though.
setting?
So that's why I give you props.
So I don't think we can say that. What we can say is this, that over the course of this year, we've kept our policy at a restrictive level, and people have different views, but a clearly restrictive level, I would say. So, and we were able to do that over the course of this year because the labor market was in very solid condition with strong job creation and all those things. I think if you go back to April and now look at the revised job creation numbers for May, June, July, and August, you can I can no longer say that. So what that means is that the risks were clearly tilted toward inflation. I would say they're moving toward
Yeah, we're
equality.
gonna get
Maybe
more
they're
blood.
not quite out of equality. We don't need to know that. But we do know that they've moved meaningfully toward greater equality, the risks between the two goals, and that
Even if it
suggests
doesn't
that we
happen
should
today, I
be moving
think
in
in
the
the short
direction
term,
of
you're definitely
neutral,
gonna
and
get
that's
some
what we did
pullbacks.
today.
Under what circumstances would a larger than 25 basis points rate cut be warranted? And how seriously was that option entertained at your meeting this week?
There wasn't widespread support at all for a 50 basis point cut today. You know, I think we've done very
I
large
talked
rate
about
hikes
Triple Q
and very
looking like
large rate
shit,
cuts
too.
in the last 5
That's
years.
not what I typed.
And you tend to do those at a time when
There are
you
pullback
feel that
spots right
policy
here.
is out of place and needs to move quickly to a new place. That's not at all
Spies
what
isn't
I
far
feel
off.
certainly now.
I'll
I
just
feel like
redraw
our
it.
policy has been doing the right thing so far this year. I think we were right to wait and see how tariffs and inflation and the labor
clicking the
market
wrong thing.
evolved. I think we're now reacting to the much lower level of job creation and other evidence of softening in the labor market, and saying, well, those risks are maybe not fully balanced, but moving in the direction of balance now, and so that warrants a change in policy.
Colby Smith with the New York Times. Should we be viewing today's cut as the committee taking out some insurance against the possibility that the labor market is at risk of weakening? Or is it the committee's view
Looks
that
like
the
shit.
dynamics of a downturn are already
I can't
in
really
place?
butter.
I guess
can't
I'm
really
just
sugarcoat it.
trying to
Buttercup it. I
square
can't
the
really
shift in the
sugarcoat
rate
it.
forecast in the SEP
looks like shit.
Towards more cuts than just 3 months ago.
This
with
is
the
why I
fact
called
that the
out
forecast for
lottos at the beginning
unemployment
of the
didn't
week, too.
change.
Yeah, I think you could think of this in a way
Really
as
nice
a risk
breakdown.
management
We'll see if we get
cut, because
continuation. So far, so
if you
good.
look at the SEP, actually, the projections for growth this year and next actually ticked up just a little bit, and inflation and unemployment didn't really move much. So what's different now? What's different now is that you see a very different picture of the risks to the labor market. You've seen,
My dog wants to
we
play
were
so
looking
bad.
at 150,000 jobs a
Not used to me
month at the
streaming
time
right
of the
now.
last meeting, and now we see the revisions and we see the new numbers. And I don't want to put too much emphasis on payroll job creation, but it's just one of the things that suggests that the labor market is really cooling off. And that tells you that it's time to take that into account in our, in our policy.
So just looking at the SEP, once again, the median participant has inflation higher than previously expected by the end of next year, and the Fed not getting back to the 2% target until 2028. So I guess I'm just wondering how you characterize the risk to price pressures of kicking off a series of
Did I
cuts
not
at
just
this
add a
point.
level right there?
Yeah, so I would look at it this way. We fully understand and appreciate that we need to remain fully committed to restoring 2% inflation on a sustained basis, and we will do that. At the same time, we've got to weigh the risks to the two goals. And I would say since April, to me, the risks of higher and more persistent inflation have probably become a little less. And that's partly because the labor market has softened, GDP growth has slowed. So I would just say that the risks there have been less than one might think. And in terms of the labor market, what we're seeing is unemployment is still low. It's still a relatively low rate, but we're seeing downside risks.
I was just clearing up the chart so there's way less levels.
Michael McKee from Bloomberg Radio and Television.
I mainly do that when there's just
I'm
a lot more volatility.
A little confused by your explanation of the Fed cutting rates because of unemployment. If you think that most of what's happening in the employment area is related to immigration, which your rate cuts wouldn't address.
There's a gap at 65, 30,
how do you
65,
see
45.
that as more important than inflation, which has remained almost a full percentage point above your target?
Well, I was saying that what's happening in the labor market has more to do
655,
with
59 is the
immigration than it has to
next
do with
days,
tariffs.
50%.
That was the question I was answering. So I wouldn't say that all of
Damn, you
what's
did good
happening
then,
in the
getting
labor
to that
market
level then,
is due to
for your
tariffs. I
trade.
mean, you clearly have a slowing in it due to immigration.
Good shit,
You
Carter,
clearly
and
have a
good shit,
slowing in
Kevo. Good
demand,
updates, too.
which is now perhaps more than that in supply, and we know that because the unemployment rate has ticked up. So, that's what I meant by that.
Like a follow-up, every year since 2015, the SEP has forecast that you would hit your target 2 years later. And this year, this SEP says you're going to hit your target 2 years later. 2% does not seem to be in sight. Does that suggest that the 2% target is not really achievable? And does this present any credibility problems
Good question.
for you in telling people that that's what you're going to do if you can never reach it?
Well, I mean, you're right. It does say we're going to get to 2% inflation in 2028, at the end of 28. But that's literally how you put the projections together. You're writing down a rate path, which is designed to create, over the course of the SEP, time frame, 2% inflation and maximum employment too. So that's all that is. No one really knows where the economy will be in 3 years. But the nature of the exercise is to write down policy that you believe would return to the 2% goal over at least by the end of the exercise.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by any of this at all.
Thanks so much, Elizabeth Schulze with ABC News. The latest inflation report shows that prices are still going up across key categories for
You only
many
had the balls
households,
for one
including
con. Hey, you
groceries.
did something though, bro.
What will the
Good
Fed
shit.
do if prices
And
pick
good
up
updates.
more?
So our
Keeping it about the
expectation,
process instead of
and
the outcome.
You
Good
can see
shit.
this consistently through the year.
That's why I was giving props to Kevo too. Keep it about the
will move
process.
up this year, but that basically because of the
Therefore, you don't
effects on goods
FOMO other
prices from
people into
tariffs.
things.
But that those
know,
will turn out to
keep
be
it humble as much
a
as you can.
one-time price
In a
increase
weird
as
way, I'm
opposed to
trying to say
creating
that.
an inflationary process. That's been our forecast. Pretty much all the individual forecasts say that. We can't just assume that though, right? We have to. Our job is literally to make sure that is what happens, and we will do that job. Right now, the situation we're in is that we see inflation. We continue to expect it to move up, maybe not as high as we would have expected it to move up a few months ago. The pass-through of the tariffs into inflation has been slower and smaller. The labor market has softened. So the case for there being a persistent inflation outbreak is less. And so that's why we think it's time for us really to acknowledge that the risks to the other mandate have grown and that we should move in the direction of neutral. So what will we do? We'll do what we need to do, but we have two mandates and we try to balance them. For a long time, our framework says that when our two goals are in tension, this is quite an unusual situation, how do we decide what to do? Because our tools can't do two things at once. What we do is we ask which is farther from, how far is each from the goal and how long is it expected to get to the goal? So, and then we think about those things and we see, as I mentioned, our policy had been really skewed toward inflation for a long time, really. Now we see that there's downside risk clearly in the labor market, and so we're moving in the direction of more neutral policy.
How concerned are you about the slowdown in the jobs market for households at home, especially younger Americans struggling to land a job?
So it's an interesting labor market, and obviously we think it's appropriate that we reduce our rates so that we become more neutral, which presumably will be better for the labor market. You see people who are sort of more at the margins, so kids coming out of college and younger people, minorities are having a hard time finding jobs. The overall job finding rate is very, very low. However, the layoff rate is also very low. So you've got a low firing, low hiring environment, and the concern is that if you start to see layoffs, the people who are laid off there won't be a lot of hiring going on, so that could very quickly flow into higher unemployment. In a healthier economy, healthier labor market, there would be jobs for those people. But now the hiring rate is very, very low. So that's been a growing concern over the last few months, and it's one of the reasons why we think it's appropriate that we begin to shift our policy focus toward a more balanced one.
Steve Leisman, CNBC. Mr. Chair, in the past, during rate cuts, you used the word recalibration. And I wonder if you pointedly did not use it this time. And in fact, when you said policy is not on a preset course, did you mean that as sort of the opposite of recalibration? Are we meeting to meeting, data point by data point? Are we in the process here of getting back to neutral? Thank you.
So I think we're in a meeting by meeting situation. We're going to be looking at the data. You know what? Let me say a word about the SEP really here.
He's making us
we
sit
often point
on
this
our
out.
food. We're going to be on hot coals for a while.
It's an accumulation,
Every interest rate news is
of
going to
the
be
individual
big
projections of 19 people, showing what they believe at a particular moment in time
because it's meeting to
be
meeting.
the most likely path for the economy, and thus
Until
the
we're on a set
appropriate path
path,
for
not everything will be
monetary
priced
policy as
in.
well. And as you know, we don't debate or try to agree on what that is. We just write them down and accumulate them. We do sometimes discuss them. And so we always say we're not on a preset path, and we really mean that. The actual decisions we make are going to be based on the incoming data, the evolving outlook, and the balance of risks at the time the decisions are actually made. So you will have seen that we have 10 participants out of 19 who wrote down 2 or more cuts for the remainder of the year, and 9 who wrote down fewer than, in fact, in a good number of cases, no more cuts. So rather than looking at this as certainty, I would encourage people, as always, to look at the SEP as through the lens of probability.
A constantly
and so there are different
changing
possible outcomes and likelihoods, rather than this one is certain and this one isn't happening. So that's what I would say.
Thank you for getting to my follow-up question, which was, is the dispersion in the outlook
Powell's
a
got
sign
good
of
answers
uncertainty
today,
of
even if
policy
they are
in the
revealing.
meetings to come? Thank you.
You know,
That was a very revealing
it is such an
reply.
unusual situation. Ordinarily, when the labor market is weak, inflation is low. And when the labor market is really strong, that's when you've got to be careful about inflation. So we have a situation where we have two-sided risk. And that means there's no risk-free path. And so it's quite a difficult situation for policymakers. And it's not at all surprising to me that you have a range of views. It's not so much about having different views for the path of the economy, but it's partly that. But it's also partly about what's the right thing to do in light of the tension between the two goals. How do you weight them? How worried are you about one versus the other? And so it's natural. I think it would actually be surprising if you didn't have a pretty wide range of views based, in this kind of highly unusual situation, and we do. So, but we get together, we discuss, we have a great discussion, and then we decide what to do and we act. But you're right that it's a wide dispersion of views, and I think that's understandable and natural in the current situation.
That is a pretty
Hi, Victoria Guida
Include
with
your
Politico.
picture on the 30-minute.
You've talked a lot about Fed independence and the importance of it over the years, but
What a
as,
day,
as
yeah,
markets
bro, you're
have
fucking on
questions
fire, dude,
about
seriously.
what exactly President Trump's intentions are with the
You
Fed,
deserve it, though.
what
Hard
would
work,
you
man.
point
You were
to as
patient.
the things they should be watching to determine that the Fed is still making decisions based on, the economic outlook rather than political considerations?
Look, it's deeply in our culture to do our work based on the incoming data and never consider anything else. That's just everybody who's at the Fed really feels strongly about that way. So, you'll know it by the way we talk about what we're doing, by the speeches that people give, by the decisions that we make. You'll know that we're just still going to do that. That's all we do.
Yeah, he doesn't give a shit
And
what the left or the
we
right
don't
think.
frame these questions
going
at
off of
all or
data.
see them in terms of political outcomes.
Doesn't matter
I
what
think
Trump
when you
or
get
Biden
to
says.
another part of Washington, everything is seen through
The
the lens
Fed.
of does it help or hurt this political party, this politician. That's the framework. And I think people find it hard to believe that that is not at all the way we think about things at the Fed. We're taking a longer perspective. We're trying to, serve the American people as best we can. So I think you would be able to tell. I don't believe we'll ever get to that place. I would say we're doing our work exactly as we always have now, and they're making their arguments, and we're having really a great discussion around these challenging issues. So
Do you see the court case around Lisa Cook as being related to questions
up,
of Fed
Kaizen?
independence?
I see it as a court case that it would be inappropriate for me to
Yikes.
comment on.
Yikes indeed.
Thanks, Mr. Chairman. Edward Lawrence from Fox Business. So we saw the preliminary benchmark revisions down 911,000. The revisions for June were the first negative revisions we've seen since December of 2020. How can the Fed base important decisions on rate and what to do with the interest rates on data that seems to be, as you've called it in the past, noisy?
So on the QCEW, the revision that we saw was almost exactly what we expected. It was amazing how close the expectation was. So, and the reason for that is, for the last bunch of quarters, there's been almost a predictable overcount, and I think the Bureau of Labor Statistics really does understand this, and they're working hard to fix it. It's got to do, of course, it has something to do with low response rates, but it's also got to do with what's called the birth-death model, because a
is
good amount of job
wild-looking.
creation happens around new companies and how many go out of business, how many are founded, and it's just really hard. You can't survey for that. You've got to have a model that
dying
predicts
over
that.
here.
And it's quite difficult to do, especially when
That
the
actually got
economy
me
is
off guard. I was, like,
undergoing
trying to
big changes.
breathe, and then I
and
laughed.
they've been working on that and are making progress on it. But the data we get
It is actually
is
pretty
still
fun to look at.
well good enough for us
When
to
you
do
go from
our
like the
work.
30-minute how I was too.
To the extent we have
that caught
issues
me
around
off
data right
guard.
now, it's about low response rates. That's happened all over really. Response rates are just lower to surveys now, both in and out of the government. And it's no great secret. We want higher response rates, and we need those to have
My
less
son said he
volatile
had both
data.
chairs evidently
And
was too large
the
for
way to
him. He's
get that is to
cooking
make sure
some
that the agencies that collect the
Here's a
data have
ergonomic
sufficient
chair, what a
resources to
gun.
drive higher response
up.
rates. It's not a complicated problem, but that's what it takes. It's not a mystery. That's what it takes. The other thing I'll say, Edward, is in the case of the job creation, the response rate
these
is
look
quite low for
good.
the first month, or lower for the first month. By the time you get to
They're
the second or
fancy.
third month, you're still collecting responses for that last month, for that prior month, and you get to the place where the data are much
And
more
they don't cost
reliable
an
by the
arm and a
second and
leg.
certainly
Look at
the
these
third
chairs.
month. So it's not that we don't get the data; it's just that we get it a little later.
I'm about to save this on my Amazon watch
Well, for
list.
the benchmarks, if that holds, it's 51% of the jobs that we thought were there weren't really there. It shows a weaker job market coming into this year. If you had had that information, would it have changed your mind related to where the interest rates should be? Should there have been a cut earlier?
We have to
Yeah,
live
these
life
chairs are
looking for
nuts
the windshield rather than the rearview mirror, as you know. And all I can tell you is we see where we are now, and we take appropriate action, and we took that appropriate action today.
Thanks. Howard Schneider with Reuters. So, as you mentioned a
Reuters.
minute ago, some margins of the job market would suggest that the slide's already happening. Black unemployment rate in August was above 7%. Declining work week, difficulty among college
I
graduates
saw that. The
finding work.
footrest of the other
high
thing is
rising
pretty
youth
dope.
unemployment.
Mine doesn't have a footrest.
Why do you think a quarter percentage point now is going to arrest that?
He's 6'4", 260.
Well, I didn't say that I thought a quarter point would make a huge difference to the economy, but you've got to look at the whole path of rates,
Dear
right?
God.
And market's has already been baking in expectations.
professional
I mean,
sport does he
market
play?
works through expectations, right? So I think our policy path really does matter, and I think it's important that we use our tools to support the labor market when we do see signs like that. I did mention that. You see
Huge wick after a sandwich
minority
candle on the 10
unemployment
minute.
going up. You see younger people who are more vulnerable economically, more
I think your
susceptible
downside
to
got a
economic
little too
cycles.
obvious.
That's one of the reasons, in addition to just overall
So we're seeing liquidity
lower,
back up.
payroll job creation that
But
shows
not
you
because
that
it's
at
bullish,
the margin,
but because
the
we got
labor
too
market is
bearish
weakening.
too
I would
quick.
also point to labor force participation. Some part of the significant decline in labor force participation over the last year has probably been cyclical in nature rather than just the usual aging process. So we put all those together, and we see that the labor market is softening, and we don't need it to soften anymore, don't want it to. So we use our tools, and it starts with a 25 basis point rate cut, but the market's also pricing in a rate path. I'm not blessing what the market's doing at all. I'm just saying it's not just one action.
As a follow-up to that, the growth mix right now seems very concentrated in investment and on the consumer spending side in the higher income groups. Do you feel that that's an unsustainable mix for the economy moving forward?
I wouldn't say that. I mean, you're right. Those are two. We're getting unusually large amounts of economic activity through the AI build out and corporate investment. I don't know how long that will go on. No one does. In terms of spending, you saw that the consumer spending numbers were well above expectations, and that may well be skewed toward higher earning consumers. There's a lot of anecdotal evidence to suggest that. Nonetheless, it's spending. So, I mean, I think the economy is moving along. Economic growth is going to be 1.5% or better this year, maybe a little better. Forecasts have been coming up, as you can see. So, labor market unemployment is low, but downside risks.
All right, I got everything I needed out of that. His answer on basically future guidance was very revealing. We're gonna be meeting to meeting, data to data, which I honestly don't like, but fuck it. We'll get another event just like this, where it'll probably be a little obvious on what's about to happen. So if you guys want to try to catch some trades on the next one, if you didn't get them this time, you're probably going to get your opportunity. And Kevo and Carter, you're going to definitely get your double dipping chance at the next event. Because he said himself, this is all meeting to meeting data. And I'm glad they called him out on that, because that was a big point, is they've been saying this 2% goal is in 2 years, the last 6 years, which is bullshit. So I'm glad he was at least truthful and said, yeah, this is meeting to meeting. Because that's very revealing. But I think I'm going to end the stream there. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to ask questions or drop any comments if you have anything. Feel free to ask whatever, say whatever. Well, not whatever, but you know what I mean. In regards to the stream and things that we're looking at and talking about. And it looks like some of our downside has finally stopped. They're actually finally bringing this back up. See a player. Absolutely. Dude, y'all killed it, man. I'm really proud of you, Kevo. Seriously. I'm losing my voice, but I'm proud of you, dude. That is serious. Like, for me to sit here and explain that could happen is one thing. But I really want to let you know, like, that is another thing to actually take action on it to that extent. So, seriously, round of applause to you, dude. And good shit, Carter, too. I don't want you to think, oh, I only did one contract, I'm a bitch. Like, dude, shut up. You're a fucking beast. Your trade made sense. You had the balls to jump in on it. Good shit, Carter. Proud of you guys. Keep leading the way, too. Anybody in chat needs help? Any small updates we can give? This teamwork is doing it. Interesting we bounced off that gap. Yeah, right? Interesting how we bounce off gaps and halfway points all the time. And that's pretty much what all these levels are right now. I made it to where we just minimalized everything we had on the screen. It's just the important levels. Which I probably need to add a weekly fib extension, like a backwards weekly fib, so we have forward targets above all-time high in case we do just keep launching. That is still a possibility. So. The September to 10th to September 11th gap, yeah, no, that was a very good eye too. I was happy y'all are marking that and at least being aware of it all. Because, yeah, when we start dumping it, it's almost like, fuck all the levels. It's like, where's the next most important level? Because that's probably where it wants to go. So good shit, keeping your eye on that. I'll give you guys another minute or so if you guys have any questions or anything. I need to check something anyway. Thanks, guys, too, for all the likes on the stream. I know we didn't get any today, but yesterday and the day before, I do appreciate anybody who gifted subs. That was very, very cool. I also just hope people who get those gifted subs take advantage of it and actually watch something or go through something. And after the stream ends, I have to wait a little while for it to render, and then I can cut out the part of the stream that we talked about. The news and stuff, so I'll be sure to cut that so you guys have that saved up, because that is kind of a good like video guide of the FOMC guide, but that's only one example. There's other templates for it, so definitely be sure to go to the trade floor. It's free. There's a candlestick pattern guide for anybody that wants to download it for free. There's a video on my YouTube for free to watch with it. There's also the FOMC guide, which has amazing breakdowns on how to actually trade and interpret FOMC, made by Leland. So definitely be sure to check all that out. That's all free in the trade floor. But yeah, I'm in the stream there. Thank you guys again. Thanks for all the likes, everybody tuning in, everybody trading and stuff. Appreciate it all. Glad we could have a little weird midday to end day stream. But yeah, and be sure to go to the polls channel too. I'm about to go post the polls. I always forget to do that whenever I'm streaming. All right. Well, I'll see you guys later on. Have a great rest of your day. Love you all. Have a great rest of your day. See you later.